We are in Gainesville tonight. A couple of crosstown rivals getting after it. Buchholz, Eastside. Can't ask for anything better. That's because I'm alongside this guy, the All-American Shannon Snell. I am Jeff Cardozo. Welcome into the IBEW Local 1205 Friday Night Rivals, presented by Radiant Credit Union. Shannon, doesn't get any better than this. It's Citizens Field. It is the home for many, many schools, and we've got a good one tonight.
We do. Crosstown rivalry. They don't like each other. Jeff, this is enough. We've been blessed early on this season to see some really great matchups. Tonight shouldn't be any different.
And Buchholz has been a powerhouse over these past couple of years. They've got players up the wazoo, but you got to give credit to Eastside. The last couple of years, that program has really built and should be a fun one tonight.
Yeah, playoff team last year, right? Looking to build on that. And listen, to beat a man, you got to beat the man. And Buchholz has been the man for years in this thing, for decades, right? They got to beat them tonight, and tonight, here's the first step.
Yeah, so we'll see if that's going to happen. Our IBEW Local 1205 keys to the game. What needs to happen tonight?
Yeah, first of all, if you're Eastside, the time is now, right? They got a good team. They started off 2-0. You got to knock off the bully of North Central Florida, and that is the Buchholz Bobcats. You got to do it, and your time has to be now. You got to be a road warrior. The first game, they're not at home for another 4 games after this, right? They got to be road warriors. Technically, they are the road team tonight, so get it done tonight. It's going to give you a nice kickstart for next week. And if you're Buchholz, open it up, right? You got a lot of playmakers. You got guys on that side of the ball that can make it happen. Open it up. Don't hold anything back. And send the dogs, right? Eastside likes to get back there, toss the ball around a little bit, send some blitzes at them, get them off kilter, try to get them out of their rhythm.
Buchholz has had a really tough schedule to start off the season. They're healthy now. They're still trying to get a few guys back, but more often than not, that O-line, that D-line, you know, those hogs up front are a really big deal. Yeah. So there's some players all over the field tonight, too. So who's the ones we need to look for?
Well, let's talk about Buchholz. And my favorite player, bar none, Justin Williams, number 13. This guy's unbelievable. If you see the ball in his hands, you're going to see some magic. All right, UF commit, close to my heart. You're going to see a lot out of him tonight. And for Eastside, you got Nelson Tambley. At GHS last year, a big-time quarterback, a guy that also plays defensive end. He's going to try to get it done and knock off these Bobcats here tonight.
All right, so we want to hurry to get to a break because that means it is time to get things going. Starting lineups and a kickoff when we come back here on Friday Night Rivals.
Oh, he's taking the ball.
Oh, taking the ball.
All right.
The Bobcats will receive the opening kickoff.
All right, we welcome you back to Friday Night Rivals. Almost ready to get things started, but before we do, of course, we have our credit union, Radiant Coin Toss, to find your financial future. It looks like Buchholz has won the toss, and Shannon, they say, I want the ball. How about Mark Whittemore saying, let's get after it?
Spot the ball. Listen, after last week, I took a tough loss at Vera. And listen, they want to get back on track. They want to get the ball in their playmakers' hands and want to make a statement here early tonight, Jeff.
And, you know, this is a Buchholz team that has played some really tough competition the first couple of games. That Vero team is a team that's got a chance to win a state championship. And, you know, certainly you've got a young quarterback, but certainly a lot of lineage with Andrew Whittemore out there. It'll be interesting. But he hasn't really had a healthy offensive line either. So that's what's going to be important. You got to get that O-line ready, as you know.
And I just kind of noticed them in pregame, Jeff. They're going to line up with 2 tight ends. And when I say 2 tight ends, that means 2 offensive linemen. So expect to see some poundage of the ball by Buchholz. Expect them to see things happening on the edge and getting outside those tackles. So I expect them to run and gun tonight and really try to take it to these Eastside Rams.
And this is an Eastside team, as you see them running out on the field now, that has really gotten better under Gator Hoskins. Harold, of course, his first name, but everybody calls him Gator. It's been fun to watch that development over the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's taken his team to kind of the little brother between GHS and Buchholz to now somebody that's going to contend. And this game tonight, listen, if you're Buchholz and you don't, if you're not paying attention, these Eastside Rams will easily walk out of here with that win.
So here come the Bobcats. Been in the Final Four the last 3 years. It's been a tremendous run. 2 of those by Mark Whittemore, 1 by Chuck Bell, as Whittemore took a year off to watch his kids play at the collegiate level, but they roped him back in, and now he's got another kid in Andrew, just a sophomore quarterback, and a guy that's really grown up over the last couple of years. He was a little guy throughout middle school, and I don't think he even really thought about playing football. All of a sudden, he grew, and he says, hey, I can do this thing.
Yeah, Jeff, it tends to happen like that, where you don't really know what you want to do, and then your body basically tells you what you're going to do, and that's what happened with Andrew. We saw him throwing the ball around, and we've seen him the last couple of weeks, and got a strong body, got a nice arm, was able to got nice ball placement. So we'll see if he can do that here tonight and get himself going.
Well, it was a perfect night here in Gainesville. I mean, you're looking at about 85 degrees as we get ready for kickoff. But before we do, let's welcome in the third member of our team. That, of course, the great Randy Reinhardt, roaming the sidelines all game long.
Jeff, thank you very much. Domination in the series recently by Buchholz. They have taken the last 11 straight. In the last 4 games, they've outscored Eastside 166-14. The last win by Eastside, August 31st, 2012. The tally was 13-10 in that one. We'll see what happens here tonight in week number 3. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Randy. 2012, Randy was in middle school, which is hard to believe. That's how long it has been. Now he's got a beard and it's gray and everything else. Always fun having Randy. He will give us great insight throughout the entire night down on the field. Well, you've got Eastside band getting after it. Buchholz on the other side doing the same thing. And we are just about ready for kickoff as Eastside will do it, and we are underway, and the dynamic Justin Williams gets it about the 5-yard line, tries to weave up and down the sideline, but only gets to about the 20. So that is a nice start for the Eastside kick return team as they stop Justin Williams, who, as Shannon mentioned in the pregame, he's going to the University of Florida.
He is. I just love watching him. And, Jeff, we got to watch him the last 4 years, watch him grow up and become a superstar, a bona fide superstar. We talk about people in a program that, you know, that progress and that learn in the system. And I'm telling you, Justin Williams is every part of that. He is really what makes this engine on this Bobcats team go.
So here comes that Buchholz offense led by the sophomore quarterback, Andrew Whittemore. Both of his older brothers played quarterback at Buchholz as well. Both went on to play college ball. And Andrew has already gotten some offers despite being a young guy. He'll be in the shotgun. He's got Justin Williams to his right in the backfield, and they'll give it to Williams. Trying to get around the left side, gets outside. He's got 5 as some flags fly before finally driven out of bounds after about a 9-yard gain, but it looks like that thing might be coming back.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of holding over on that left side of the line, and that's what happens. They line up in a twin tight form. Got Justin Williams in the backfield. You're going to see him at some wideout. You're going to see him in the backfield. You may see him on some defense as well, but they're going to try to get the ball in his hands and get him around that edge.
Oh. Well, penalty actually goes against Eastside. So that'll push him over the first down line and 10 yards further, creeping closer to midfield. And there you see Andrew Whittemore, just a sophomore.
Like we've seen, Jeff, he's just a really well-built kid. You're going to see him toss the ball around a little bit, and if it's any indication what he was doing here in pregame, I mean, got a really nice catchable ball, which our receivers always love.
Chris Johnson, the running back, now behind him. Whittemore just 2 receivers, one to the left, one to the right. Under center for the first time, and there's the toss to Johnson trying to get outside. He'll cut back in, and a minimal gain of just a couple there on first down.
Yeah, pay attention to number 5, Camarion Mack, and number 2, DeMarco Daniels. You talk about 2 linebackers that can really get out there and run. It's those 2, and they're going to be counted on to shut down that run game of Buchholz here tonight. You see right there our Eastside defense.
The IBEW Local 1205 starting lineup, and both of those guys Shannon just mentioned, seniors, so there's a lot of veterans on this defense. 2nd and 8, and now Whittemore will go into the receiver spot, and Williams will play quarterback. He'll get the shotgun snap and try to run right up the middle, but there is no room to do so as a bunch of white jerseys bring him down, and that's going to make 3rd and long.
And this is the underrated prospect that we haven't talked about is how good this Eastside defense has gotten since last year. Jeff, as you said, there's a lot of seniors, a lot of guys that have grown up in this program, that have really kind of flourished in this program, and sure enough, they're showing you here on the first drive here tonight of they're able to stop Buchholz.
Junior on that stop, 6 foot, 215-pounder Jaden Smith, amongst others. So that makes it 3rd and 8. Now for this Bobcat offense, Williams in motion. And Buchholz didn't like what they saw, so they are going to burn a timeout here on the first possession. Their offensive coordinator, Travis McGriff, who still holds the single-season record for most yards ever in a Florida Gator uniform, which is pretty incredible. Long lineage of him. His son, Keel, a part of this team, but he's still banged up. Expected him to be back next week. Another really good wide receiver. And, of course, you see Travis there with the backwards hat right there in the center. Travis's dad, an All-American at the University of Florida at receiver as well.
Such a lineage on this football team of All-Americans and former players and future players. Obviously, we talked about Justin Williams. So nice little Florida pipeline right there, Jeff.
We'll see if everybody's on the same page now. Two receivers to the left, two to the right. And now Williams will shift over to the wide side of the field. Trips to the left for Whittemore. He'll roll out that way, looking to find a receiver. Still looking downfield, has a man, but overshoots him into the Buchholz cheerleaders, and that's a big stop for Eastside here on the first possession.
Yeah, beautiful defensive drive by Eastside, able to stop a really potent Bobcats offense, and did it without really a problem, Jeff. Stopped a couple runs. They were trying to stuff that ball down their throat, and sure enough, played into their game plan and forced opponent.
Javaris Gardner back deep, and the veteran Jay Ginta, now a senior for Buchholz, will handle the punting duties tonight. Good snap. And Ginta's kick, a really good one. Gardner will drift back now inside the 5, takes a Buchholz bounce and downed perfectly. So Ginta gets it down to the 5-yard line. It's going to be a long way to go for Eastside on their first possession.
What a bomb. I mean, you can't, listen, I'm not a kicker. I'm not a kicker's friend, okay? That's just not me. But that was a beautiful punt. Able to down that on the 5-yard line. It's going to make Eastside go the long way to try to get some points on the board.
So Eastside, led by their dynamic quarterback, also can play defensive end on the other side. So that's how big he is. 6'5", 244-pounder Nelson Tambling.
Came in from GHS last year, transferred over to Eastside. Eastside looking for a quarterback and found himself in an offense that really suits his play style.
5 wide, but Tambling's going to try to run it right up the gut, and he's got nowhere to go. And you would think with a big guy like that, they would try to do that quite a bit, but also watching him warm up, he's got an arm on him.
Yeah, be careful. I mean, he could take the top off of a defense. He could throw it 50, 55, 60 yards. And, you know, they got some guys out there on the edge that really can take that thing the distance.
Tambling runs over, gets the play. And now back to the huddle. And there you see Tambling. And a lot of these high school teams do it differently. Shannon, I think that's difficult. I mean, you're going to ask your quarterback to run a lot and then also ask him to run over to the sideline after every play. That's going to wear him out. Tambling back to pass, quick little hitter. He's got his guy on a slant, and about a 5-yard gain will make it third and manageable as Jordan Johnson will haul it in.
Yeah, and to your point, Jeff, they broke that huddle with about 7 seconds left, and you know, you don't have any time for hard counts or anything like that. You got Tambling that kind of running back and forth. So let's hope his cardio is good, but that just is, not a great idea. In my opinion, you want to kind of get some signs and get something, kind of preserve his energy, which you're going to need against this Bobcat defense.
And there's the rest of that offense, our IBEW Local 1205 starting lineup. International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 1205, powering a brighter future. So 3rd and 5 now for the Rams. The flag goes down as another slant and completed to Jordan Johnson. Looks like he's a couple yards short of the line to gain, and we'll see what the flag is.
And Jeff, it's nice. You're watching Tambling take these little slants. Legal shift on the offense. So, if this is short, obviously probably decline it and make them punt it away. But watching Tambling take these little slants across the middle, so trying to open up something for a little bit bigger on that edge.
It'll be interesting call here for Buchholz. They will decline it. It's only 4th and about a yard, but I don't think as deep in territory as Gator Hoskins is, you're going to risk anything right here.
Yeah, I think he felt good about how his defense played on that first series. You punt this ball away, because if you don't get this, you basically have gift-wrapped points on the board for Buchholz. So punt this away, let your defense continue to play well as they did on that first series.
So both defenses ready to go.
And Jeff, this is it kind of feels like in this first half it's going to be a game of field positioning, right? Buchholz, it would have been great if you were Eastside. You get a first down there, try to move the chains, so it gives you a little bit more room to get out the shadow of your end zone. But Buchholz, with a great punt, able to get them down there. This is going to be a field position game if both these offenses start to struggle here tonight.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then we'll have the punt on the other side. Justin Williams getting back to return it for Buchholz when we come back here on IBEW's Local 1205 Friday Night Rivals. We welcome you back. Antonio Cortez set to punt it away. Justin Williams has his tippy toes right at mid. Low snap, and that one's back into the end zone. Cortez has it, trying to run his way out of there, and a special teams blunder gives Buchholz the ball anyway, inside the 10-yard line with great field position.
And that's the mistake that happens. And the thing that you always have to worry about, whether it be high school, whether it be college or pro, is a miscue on the snap on when you're that close to your end zone, because it is just. That is the fundamental. And Jeff, we've seen that the last couple of weeks here, this short season, is that there's been some blunders on these long snaps, and that's exactly what happened right there. And Buchholz is in great territory for scoring.
So already set up in the Call-A-Mattress red zone. Call-A-Mattress deals so hot they built a fire station across the street. Buchholz takes over at the 8-yard line, and Whittemore will hand it off right up the gut. Some hard running inside the 5. That is Chris Johnson on the carry.
And you continue to see tonight, as we talked about earlier in this telecast, that double tight end set, and you got offensive linemen lined up out there, right? Every guy on that line that has his hand in the dirt is over 250 pounds. So kind of tough sledding if you're that front four for Eastside, but have an opportunity to try to make another stop here.
Johnson will remain at running back. Justin Williams, the only guy wide. He's out to the left of Whittemore. He'll hand it off again, trying to go over that right guard again, and some positive yardage as Johnson is taken down at the 1-yard line.
And Jeff, this feels like 4-down territory. I think you're Mark Whittemore. He's going to be the old school Les Miles, if you will. He's going to roll that dice. He's going for this. He's feeling it behind this offensive line right now.
Johnson, a senior, 5'10", 172-pounder. Whittemore under center. Everybody bunched up, and Whittemore is going to try to get it in himself. A little tush push here at Buchholz, and still no signal.
I don't know if he got that. There it is.
Now they call it. So touchdown for Andrew Whittemore. The quarterback sneak gives Buchholz 6 points on the first score of the game, a Radiant Credit Union touchdown.
Yeah, and that's really due to that miscue on special teams by Eastside. And you can't give a team like Buchholz, which is one of the best teams in North Central Florida, that little space to score, because they're going to do it 95% of the time. So if you're Eastside, don't cause your team for points. You can't do that. Special teams, 3 phases of the game. Special teams, offense, and defense. If all 3 aren't clicking, then you have the opportunity to lose this football game.
Ginta in to attempt the extra point. Snap is bobbled by Whittemore, so Ginta has it. They'll flip it out, and they're going to call him down.
Yeah. Was his knee down?
Well, it was already down because he had it down to
interesting
field the ball. And you see him fall on his derriere, flipping it over to Ginta. So, bad snap. We've seen it now on both sides. It'll cost Buchholz a point, but it certainly costs Eastside probably 6 as it gave Buchholz prime field position. The Buchholz cheerleaders running across for the first time, and we ran up to the booth pretty quickly tonight because we knew that Sonny's Barbecue was up here, and as always, they feed our Friday Night Rivals crew. Sonny's, they are barbecue. And of course, the fine folks providing us that great stuff. And there you see the concessions getting after it as well.
Yeah, I mean, those burgers were smelling great when I walked in. But I'll tell you what, tonight we had a treat with that sliced pork. So thank you to the Sonny's here in Gainesville over on 39th Avenue. Y'all did a great job. Everything tasted fantastic. If you guys are near a local Sonny's, go by and try it. New fall menu out. So you guys will try some maple pork burnt-ins. Yeah, I know a guy that created that recipe.
Well, in many great locations here in Gainesville, of course, and just down the road, the original Sonny's.
Very first one.
It's like a Shannon Snell driver probably to hit it from Citizens Field up to the original Sonny's. All right, kickoff is good, fielded at the goal line. Antonio Cortez has it, and he's not going anywhere. Great coverage there by the Buchholz special teams, and Eastside's going to take over offensively inside their own 10-yard line.
Yeah, I don't think Buchholz has done anything special on offense yet, right? It's been the special teams that have really helped them out here. Great coverage, getting down there, making a tackle, and putting them inside the 10-yard line. But also that errant snap that put them really close inside. And Jeff, this may be a thing of special teams, right? It may come down to special teams. And if you're Eastside right now, this is an important drive because you've got to respond. Respond by flipping the field, respond by, getting a couple first downs and keeping that defense off the field, which is playing well. You just got to kind of try to keep it fresh here.
Tambling will have trips receivers to the right, one to the left. And the lone guy in the backfield is Cortez. Tambling running around, escapes pressure, and finally brought down. It's a nice open field tackle there by the outside linebacker, Matthew Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson able to wrangle him right around the ankles. A big dude running around right there. Able to you got to hit him low. You can't hit him high. He's going to end up running you over. But nice tackle right there for minimal gain.
So Tambling continues to make his way over to the sideline, gets the play call. And he'll get back into the huddle with only about 15 seconds on the clock.
And that's what I'm talking about, Jeff. Like, you only give your quarterback 15 seconds to adjust, take a look around, and the last couple of times it's been less than that. So you got to wonder if they're going to start throwing some signs in at him.
He'll take the shotgun snap and fire it over towards the east side sideline, but well over the head of the intended receiver, Marcus Cofield.
It feels like this Eastside offense is stalling a little bit here, right? They haven't kind of established an identity. Tambling's been back there really chucking it around. So you wonder if they're going to get the run game started. If they're going to kind of do something to try to balance their offense here.
Well, we're going to stall it a little bit longer because it's water break time here at Citizens Field. Crosstown rivals, Buchholz and Eastside here on Friday Night Rivals. As Randy mentioned, Buchholz has absolutely dominated this series of late. We'll see if Eastside can get something going here offensively. When we come back, it's the Bobcats 6 and the Rams nothing here on Friday Night Rivals. Well, beautiful view of the moon tonight. You can see the man on the moon looking down at Citizens Field. Time to raise the roof with Mission Metals. Mission Metals, your trusted hometown metal roofing and metal building supplier, right here on Friday Night Rivals. Almost a full moon tonight.
Yeah, I love it.
You scared?
Beautiful shot. Now, if I turn into a werewolf, you scared? I don't know.
Although if you were Michael J. Fox and Teen Wolf, you could ball out.
I'd be definitely going down on the football field having the football version.
Yeah.
Remember the basketball one?
Oh, my goodness.
I watched that movie until it fell out of the tracks of my VCR.
Yeah.
Remember that? It was such a good movie.
And he got on the top of the van, Styles' van, and doing headstands down the road.
It wasn't the safest thing, but it was pretty cool while we were watching it.
Well, those cheerleaders doing some great things as well. That's the East Side gals. And there's the boys on offense trying to do something, yet to get a first down tonight here on their second offensive possession. And it's 3rd and 8.
they need this, Jeff. Once again, keeping that defense off the field is imperative, but even more so, not putting Buchholz with short field to score.
Tambling will look to the right. He'll fire it, and that is dropped right through the hands of Cortez. Tambling put it right in the breadbasket. I guess that's the worst place to hit you, right on the hands.
First of all, excellent pass and excellent timing by Tambling. Able to hit his receiver before he broke into his route, turns around, hit him right in the arms, and all you have to do is hold your hands out and catch it. And your receiver, you got to help your quarterback out. You can't miss those opportunities to try to get a first down there.
So Cortez couldn't hold on to it on offense. Now he'll try to hold on to it and then kick it away. On special teams, he will be the punter with Justin Williams back deep.
Yeah, here's a little scary thing is that when you had something bad happen on the previous punt, and then you're like, hey, let's max protect everybody just so we can get the punt off. You're kicking it to one of the most dangerous punt returners in North Central Florida. So let's just be aware of that.
Another bad snap, and this one's through the end zone. So that's going to be a safety and two special teams blunders here for Eastside into their own end zone, and it's been a struggle here for the boys in white.
You got to stop pooping on your own foot. I mean, you can't do that. You can't snap the ball. That is the most elementary part of the special team game, is snapping the ball to the punter, to a kicker, so you can kick the ball away. And you don't do that, you costing your team points, and that's 8 points, Jeff, that this team has been costed because of that. Not because defensive or offensive. It's just because you haven't been able to execute on special teams.
And the hard part about that is you're probably saying, if you're the long snapper, hey, I need to make an adjustment. I spiked the other one into the ground, so I need to get it in the air. And now you adjust too much. This time you airmailed it.
Yeah.
So maybe by the third time it's that happy place right in the middle.
I mean, if you're Harold Hoskins, you hope so. You hope your long snapper can get it back there because you practice this. And the one thing that I will say is that they have to be on the same page, right? Sometimes with long snappers and punters or holders and kickers, there has to be some sort of a friendship or some sort of you guys being on the same page. If that doesn't happen, exactly what you just saw right there happens, and you cost your team points.
So Eastside will kick it off after the safety, and Buchholz now with an 8-0 lead. They'll get the ball on the offense for the third time tonight. Short kick, and that'll be fielded by Ashton Norris. Right up the gut he goes, crossing midfield, and Buchholz is going to have great starting field position on the Eastside side at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, their average starting field position has been, their 30-yard line, maybe closer.
Yeah.
So not exactly where you want to give the Bobcats position to try to drive this ball in. But, hey, listen, I'm curious to see what they do with a little bit of a longer field. They've been trying to pound this ball, had some minimal success there, but I'm wondering if they'll get Justin Williams involved. And I'm wondering, how soon that's going to be, or if Andrew Whittemore is going to keep trying to air that thing out.
Williams on the right side of the formation, Whittemore under center. He's going to fake the handoff. They're looking downfield towards Williams. He'll dump it off and throw a little bit behind Ashton Norris for an incompletion.
Yeah, still running that double tight set, and a little bit of a wrinkle. First rollout that we've seen and first pass that we've seen out of Whittemore. A little bit behind, but good thought in mind, right? You've shown 5 or 6 times that you run the ball up the middle, you're tossing it outside, a little bit of a wrinkle to that plan, and expect to see something deep, Jeff. You saw they got a couple routes out of that formation that they can bomb them deep, so be careful with your east side.
And as Williams was making his way downfield, 2 other white jerseys came over to get him, so they're double teaming and triple teaming here in the early going. Whittemore hands it off this time. Good strong run right behind the center. And that'll get about 7. and make it 3rd and short.
Yeah, good run on 2nd down. Able to get behind that big offensive line and really pound it up the middle. And it's a little bit more of a traditional Buchholz set. A couple wide receivers, a little bit more so you can stretch that defense out a little bit. Had all those guys in the box, and they were just basically playing rugby scrum.
Johnson's been the workhorse at running back. He'll stay back there with Whittemore again. Still 2 tight ends in there for Buchholz. As Whittemore looks around, and he's going to throw that incomplete right into the hands of the defender Marco Daniels, but then good job by the receiver. Marquell Brooks came over and knocked it loose to prevent the interception.
Yeah, that was Brooks defending the pass. Excellent job. That's well coached. Now, you knock the ball down if you can't get to it, but you see Whittemore right here just kind of stare down the receiver. Yeah, he stared down the receiver, Marquell Brooks, and all of a sudden he just let that loose, and it should have been a pick, but sure enough, ends up as incomplete.
Mark Whittemore is going to keep the offense on the field. 4th and 3 now.
Watch the hard count.
They'll hand it to Williams, and Williams going one way has to come back the other way, and he's not going to go anywhere. So running east-west instead of north-south, Galen Miller, who was one of the UF Health Orthopedic Players of the Week last year, first in on that tackle amongst others.
Yeah, I mean, excellent job by this defense, and you kind of saw it coming. I shifted a tight end on over. They were running that sweep over there. Nice job holding the edge over there by number 11, Malachi Williams, and just able to make Justin Williams turn back the other way. And when you start running around the backfield, that pursuit's going to get to you.
Well, the Eastside crowd now chanting overrated.
I mean, it's hard to do that when you're down 8-0.
And you haven't gotten a first down yet.
Let's temper expectations here, guys.
And how about that? Evan Walker says, yeah, I got your overrated right here. He's immediately in the backfield, and the senior with a big stop.
You play silly games, you win silly prizes. Sure enough, I mean, this Buchholz defense is still playing well. And if you're Eastside, you got to find your identity. Obviously, first run that we've seen, scripted run that we've seen here on offense. So I think this game is going to be on Tambling. You got good starting field position. So got to put together a drive here and got to try to get some points on the board.
There you see Gator Hoskins now in year 4, 25 wins. And just 11 losses so far in his career at Eastside, and he's going to call timeout after the loss of 4 there on first down.
Yeah, and once again, going back to it, Jeff, I mean, Gator Hoskins has done an excellent job with this football team, and these guys are believing in them in this community, kind of very similar to Hawthorne, what we saw last week in Coach Cornelius Ingram and how his community rallies around him. Harold Hoskins really came in, formed a really good group of assistant coaches, and then, a lot of times when you start to win football games like this, guys come in, they were like, hey, I want to be a part of this culture. I want to be a part of this team, and sure enough, that's what you're seeing.
All right, well, before we resume action, let's go back down to the sideline where Randy's got some very important information.
I'll tell you what, this is similar to the Vanguard script. You go back to week number 1 of the season. They, in that contest, Buchholz got a punt return for a touchdown, then a safety to go up 9-0 before the offense touched the ball. So far, they have a punt return for a touchdown, blocked a punt, returned it for a touchdown, and 2 safeties. Not bad for special teams through 2.5 games.
Well, here's Tambling finding some room, breaking a couple of tackles, and then trying to challenge Caleb Young Jr., who finally knocks him down coming in from that DB spot. But big gain, and the first down for Eastside. That's a UF Health OrthoCare first down, where walk-ins are welcome 7 days a week.
Love Tambling. He brings a level of almost like a big-time Tim Tebow kind of body guy that's running the ball up the middle. He's got some wheels on him, so able to miss that initial rush. He's a guy that's not going to be brought down by one guy in the pocket, but able to get there. I'd love to see him truck. He kind of did, but love to see him truck that defensive back and get a couple more yards right there. But that's a huge first down by Tambling and that Eastside offense.
Well, flag on the play will tack on some more yards for Eastside as they are now in the Call a Mattress red zone. Call a Mattress deals so hot they built a fire station across the street.
And I love that Tambling played some defensive end. Right, you guys see the size of him. I mean, he is a defensive end, natural body, but he's got a good arm. And he's got a good mind for what defense like to do.
Tambling will hand it off this time. Really nice hole up the middle, and nice feet by Antonio Cortez. Shifty to get about 9 on first down.
This is the East Side that you're used to seeing. This is the team that scares people. Is once they get rolling, right up the middle, right between that guard center and that guard center gap. Once they get rolling, it's hard to stop them. Once that momentum starts rolling behind them.
That was Javaris Gardner, number 0. Blends in, looking like the 8 at times. So Tambling back to work. He'll keep it himself, and he's got himself into the end zone. Great fake. And just like that, Eastside is on the scoreboard, and each team's quarterback has provided an early touchdown.
I mean, that was as sexy of a drive as you're ever going to see. I mean, you saw that coming all the way. Ran that inside zone again, and Buchholz crashes down. Tambling makes a fantastic read, pulls that ball, and walks that ball right in. Nobody touches it.
It looks like Eastside wants to go for 2 here to try to tie it up.
Yeah, good idea here, right? Try to make up for those blunders that might have happened on those special teams and put this game even. And this is one thing I'm seeing a little bit out of Eastside, some personnel issues. So got to get that cleaned up. 9 seconds breaking the huddle, not really what you want to do, especially on a really important 2-point conversion.
Yeah, still confusion. So they're going to have to hurry. 2, now 1, and there's the penalty flag.
Yeah.
Well, and again, they brought Tambling over to the sideline and then had to run him back in, ran another player back in. So that's going to result in not having the opportunity to go for 2, and they'll try to settle for the extra point.
Yeah, I love Harold Hoskins as a football coach. He's a really good mind for football, but you're going to have to rethink some of this stuff because obviously with personnel, or make sure that your personnel is always 100% ready. We've seen that at least 2 or 3 times here in this first quarter about guys running on the field at the last second, and it happened on the second punt down there for the safety. Guy running on at the last second, so got to get your guys cleaned up if you got your quarterback coming over to the sideline, taking plays and running it back into the huddle.
Elijah Dressel will come in to kick. The senior will have to make a 25-yard extra point, and he's got no problem doing so. So Eastside gets on the board and gets within 1 here as Dressel drills it through, and we've got a game here tonight in Gainesville with about 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, this is interesting, Jeff. If you think a lot of these, you're going to see the touchdown here from Tambling. You're going to see the defensive end crash down, and Tambling just makes the right read, takes it in, and nobody touches him. This is going to be a game because Buchholz's points have came off of really short drives, but we got to see what they can do going the long ball. And what we've always seen out of Buchholz in the past is the explosiveness. We've seen the split outs, the wide sets, and airing it out. But we haven't really seen that tonight. We've seen a lot of the 2 tight end sets, a lot of the closeness, and trying to run the ball up the middle. So we'll see if Coach Mark Whittemore wants to spread this thing out and see if he can start to air this ball out a little bit.
It's officially dark now here at Citizens Field. James F. Niblack Athletic Complex. Buchholz with a couple of guys deep. Justin Williams, one of those, and they'll kick it his way. Williams will field it on the 5-yard line. Tried as a cut back inside, able to break 1 tackle, but
and he fumbled the ball.
Not the other guys. And it looks like Buchholz has jumped right back on it. So give Eastside a lot of credit. They understand that Justin Williams is a pretty darn good player, and they're doing everything they can to stop him.
Yeah, they understand the assignment. It's like, hey, don't let number 13 beat you, and I get it. If you're Harold Hoskins and you walk into your meeting room on Monday morning, like, hey guys, you know who you're playing. You've seen this guy 3 years, and you know what he's done to us. So excellent job highlighting the fact that you got to stop him in the kick return game, but also doing a great job stopping him on defense.
Well, Buchholz will take back over. 2 minutes, 21 seconds to go here in quarter number 1. Whittemore at quarterback with Williams to his right. They'll hand it off to him, and not much room to go there, right over the left guard.
Yeah, I'm optimistic about what's happening over here on this Eastside defense, Jeff. They're really holding the point of attack, holding the line of scrimmage. You see right there, you see number 50 right there for Eastside, Chad Hall, really doing a great job of stopping a lot of the guards chipping up to those linebackers, and those linebackers able to run. We talked about those speedy linebackers, and they're doing a good job coming downhill, making tackles.
Johnson now in the backfield, and Whittemore's going to hand it to him. More room up the middle that time, and a good hard run by Johnson as he gets out to the 25-yard line. That'll still leave him about a yard short of the line to gain.
A good old bully ball, running that ball right up the middle. And this is the Buchholz plan. It's like, hey, we feel like we're tougher up the middle. We're tougher between the guards, and you're tougher at the tackles. And it's going to be a nice little battle between those two sides of the ball here tonight.
Well, they're going to give it a first down, so another GFL first down. Green today, green for life. So a nice strong run there by Johnson. He's going to get the ball again. And only a couple as a flag gets thrown in.
Her hand slipped in the face mask right there.
That's what it looks like, and that's what it is. So a face mask by Eastside.
And good hard run. A lot of that counts just as well. You know, 15-yard variety of face mask, and you know that counts. 5 yards. That counts just as another decent run that puts him in second and short.
So second and a long one. Williams with single coverage down here. Safety drifting over, but they're going to give it to Johnson. Nice hard hit, and I'm not sure if he got enough for the first down.
I don't think he did. You see number 4 right there. Tremaine Montague come off the edge and just absolutely smoke a running back. Nice job by that young man. Really, he didn't really care. He wasn't paying attention. If Whittemore keeps that ball, he's going around the right edge and nobody's catching him.
Yeah, came in from that outside linebacker spot
and just absolutely he beat him to the spot. So nice job right there, coming off the edge and crashing down.
Montague 6'3", 200-pounder. And Johnson was short. So third and short as they give it to Johnson again. He's nice patient run, finally has some room, and he's got some open field. A hurdle as he crosses midfield before finally driven out of bounds. But a big gain there by Johnson of about 35 yards.
I guess if you keep knocking on the door, eventually somebody's going to open it. And nice job by Johnson coming off left edge, bouncing that outside and making a couple great cuts and getting a really, really big run right there.
Well, we're going to get a hold on the play, so it's coming all the way back.
Oh, damn. You got to figure that Buchholz has been chipping away. You see their game plan. It's not a surprise, and there's no hidden message. Coach Mark Whittemore said, hey, we're tougher than you up front, but you just can't do that. A lot of times, Jeff, those holes aren't even necessary. They're away from the play. If it didn't happen, the play probably still results in the same. So you just kind of cost yourself right there and put Buchholz in a little bit of a hole here on third down.
And they'll call the hold from the spot of the foul, so they will actually just back it up 10 yards from there, so enough for a first down. Don't often see that, a penalty that gives you a first down.
Oh, there you go right there. It's just the simple fact that hole probably didn't even have to happen. So needless to say, still a first down.
Well, what needs to happen is we need to say bye, but just for a couple of minutes. That's the end of quarter number 1. Tight ball game here at Citizens Field alongside Shannon Snell. I am Jeff Cardozo. It's a good one tonight here on Friday Night Rivals as we have our score summary here in the early going, and the first one to get in was the Buchholz quarterback, Andrew Whittemore.
Yeah, Whittemore able to sneak quarterback sneak right across goal line. It took the ref a long time to call that, but we saw he was in, right? But then you see right here Nelson Tamling, the other quarterback, coming around the edge on a beautiful keeper, right decision, getting in there and making the score just a little bit smaller.
That's our Poach Motor Group of Gainesville score summary. Local roots, community pride, and legendary rides. We're going to ride right into a commercial and come back and join us here on Friday Night Rivals. Well, while we were away, they decided to run a play. Hey, that rhymed.
Yeah, ran a play, and guess what happens? You see Whittemore throw a pass right there, and it gets picked off. Big time play right there by number 22, Jamarian Reeves, able to get up that right sideline, pick the pass off, and once again, Jeff, this Eastside defense is playing their tails off.
Yeah, give them a lot of credit.
Yeah, if you're Buchholz, you have reason to worry now. It's not one of those things where you say, okay, well, we walk through that first quarter. No, Eastside's put together a really nice drive. They found a little something on offense, and that defense is scary. They've got guys that can run. They got defensive backs on that back end that can cover. So haven't really seen Justin Williams get involved, even though that they've tried, right? They tried to get the ball in his hands a little bit and haven't been very successful. So, if you're Buchholz, you got to figure out something for this defensive game plan that Gator Hoskins has put together so far.
Yeah, great starting field position here for Eastside as they'll have the ball on the Buchholz 34-yard line, trailing by just a point as the second quarter is underway. 3 receivers to the left for Tambling. And the big fellow will get the shotgun snap, looking around and nowhere to go. Ran right into the defensive lineman, Amir Shepard.
Yeah, 3-man rush coming right up the middle right there. And Shepard able to beat the tackle and take the inside move and get the sack right there. If you're Tamling, you got to do a better job of maybe taking a step back and not trying to step up into the line. They're crushing those run lanes. They know you like to step up and take off and run. Maybe you might need to bounce that thing outside if you're going to get moving.
Yeah, it does seem like Tambling, at least here in the early going, really giving up pretty quickly on the receivers and trying to tuck it and run.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Just got to give his receivers a little bit of time to get open on some of these routes.
He's got 5 of them out there, 3 to the left, 2 to the right, and here's a quick little screen defended nicely by Buchholz after Javaris Gardner makes the catch, and a minimal gain there to make it 3rd and long.
Yeah, I love the thought in mind on the middle screen, but you got to make sure that you're blocking a defender for more than a quarter of a second. That quarterback needs a little bit of time to drop back, and you need the rush to happen. You want the defensive line to get sucked upfield so that the quarterback can throw it right over their heads. But if a defensive lineman or a linebacker's bearing down on his neck right away, that screen just never works.
So 3rd and 8 here for Eastside. Tambling looking around, and that throw is a little wide, and that'll force 4th down. Shannon, being the former offensive lineman that you are, is that a little scary when you have to supposedly fake the block on the screen? I mean, your job is to keep people away from the quarterback, and you're basically saying, hey, go get my quarterback.
Yeah, all your life, your coach has told you have to stay between the defender and the quarterback, and then all of a sudden he's saying, well, you got to let him through. And I just use it as an excuse for another play. So I told Coach, I thought I was supposed to let him through. If I get beat, it's not really a big deal.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I misheard.
I misheard the call.
And maybe the good thing is then you can go find a linebacker or a DB to go destroy.
Absolutely. That was always the fun part, especially the DBs, which I never liked. So.
All right, Eastside's going to go for it here on 4th down. Big play, and almost a completion right off of the hands of the intended receiver, Jordan Johnson. The big tight end had it and just couldn't haul it in.
You got to catch that. I mean, this is the 2nd time tonight that Tamlin's thrown a beautiful pass, and that was right up the seam. And you got your hand. He's walking into the end zone if he catches his ball. They knew that. They knew it was coming, and just bounced off his hands, and that got to make you sick. I mean, that puts you up right there.
Johnson knew it too.
Wow. Hey, but the same problem still arises for this Buchholz offense is that you have to find a way to uncork this really good Eastside defense, and they've been good here all tonight.
So Buchholz will take back over. Whittemore has it. He'll step into it. That's a nice throw and catch. And a completion almost to midfield as Markel Brooks, the sophomore, will haul it in.
Yeah, excellent job of getting right open. Kind of a quick little slant pattern. Able to get the ball and get some yards after catch right there. Nice opening start right there for Whittemore in this offense.
Yeah, and you can see the accuracy there of Andrew Whittemore. Had time, stepped into the throw, and delivered a strike right between the numbers.
And Eastside's done a good job of getting him off his mark, but you can see when he is on his mark, things can get pretty scary for this Eastside defense.
A little tempo here for Buchholz. And it's like we're going to have a player off sides. Well, as we wait to see what the flag is, let's head back down to the sidelines and Randy.
I'm with a man who has great hands for defensive end when he played high school football. Hold your applause to the end. This is Eric Duke. He's the fixed ops manager for Parks Motor Group. He has Gainesville's location, the Honda dealership, among others. And it's great to have you guys supporting all this. And I know high school football and being part of the community means a whole lot to you and your organization, does it not?
Oh, yeah, it's the best thing. The only thing that is part of the community, we are a part of the community. We are the community. So we welcome that.
And what makes Friday nights and Friday night football and Friday night rivals so special in your eyes?
Well, one of these rivals, these guys right here, #1 rivals in Gainesville when I was playing a long time ago, but they were scratching it all the time.
Can I get a good deal on a Hyundai right now?
Absolutely.
Where should I go?
Parks Hyundai.
I love it. You know what? There's action on the sidelines, action on the field as well, too. Guys, back upstairs to you.
Could be like in the movie Naked Gun, Randy, where remember they drove a vehicle onto the field and they just crushed the second baseman for the Angels. They just drive it right out onto the field.
I can see Randy doing that. I would be cheering.
All right, Buchholz on the move. Second and about 6 as Whittemore is running around. Flag comes down on the play and is driven out of bounds. Another big hit. That's the second one we've seen tonight from Marco Daniels.
You better buckle up. First of all, there's going to be a hold on that play. You saw it on the edge over there. You said, and that back ref was looking directly at it, but looks like number 74. It's going to. I'm sorry. It looks like that outside alignment was holding a little bit, but you better get down. Marco Daniels is the guy that can run, and he gets there, he's going to deliver bad intentions. So almost like a dang if you do, dang if you don't, right? This ball's going back, but then your quarterback takes a really nasty hit right there.
And he did get him in bounds, so a legal hit. We've seen that a lot at the collegiate level and certainly the NFL level. Quarterbacks getting out of bounds and defenders hitting them late.
See Marco Daniels right there. That's a guy that really the heartbeat of this Eastside defense, as you've seen here tonight, can run. Listen, when this young man there's going to be a college that gets him, and they're going to fall in love with him.
Yeah, great size at that linebacker spot. He's the only one in there right now as Buchholz goes 4 wide. Now 3 as Williams will move into the backfield, now out of the backfield. And Whittemore wasn't ready for the snap. They'll get it off to him anyway. Quick completion, but there's your man again, Marco Daniels on the big hit.
I'm telling you, this kid is unreal. Like, I've gotten the pleasure to watch him here over the last, and he's down on the play. This is not good. This is what you don't want to see if you're that Eastside defense. Maybe it's just he got hit in the stomach or something, but watch how he tracks his ball down. A screen, linebacker reads it, able to get through the blockers and form tackling. Not only does he wrap up, he pulls the guy and he pulls him to the ground. So, and now he's back down on the ground.
Yeah, maybe looks something like arm-wise as he was trying to twist the receiver, Markel Brooks, down, and certainly that would be a huge loss for Eastside and a guy that's been all over the place tonight.
Yeah, that's not a guy you can lose. You say, oh, next guy up. Nah, it doesn't really work like that. There's some guys that make your defense and make your offense better or just make your team better. And this is that dude, DeMarco Daniels.
Well, we're about 7 minutes or so away for halftime, and make sure you stay tuned for the Pavlov halftime report. We'll have this week's Parks Motor Group of Gainesville Scholar Athletes. Parks Motor Group, local roots, community pride, legendary rides. We'll also talk with tonight's participating school administrators, plus Thursday night lights and Friday night rivals. Highlights from all over the country. It's all coming up in our Pavlov Media halftime report. Pavlov, the fastest and most reliable fiber internet in Gainesville. And there you see Daniels making his way off the field, limping slightly, but at least under his own power.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he's good enough to come back in this game because they will need him. This guy is every part of what you look for in a linebacker.
Well, 3rd and long now for Buchholz. They'll need about 15 here. Looks like Eastside will rush just 3. 5 wide for the Bobcats. Whittemore gets a snap. He's going to take it himself. The entire middle of that field is wide open, and Whittemore fighting for some yards. He gets close to that first down yardage, but a couple of yards short, and we'll see if Mark Whittemore decides to go for it.
I mean, this is, I feel like you should. I don't think they should punt this away. They have the personnel, and you need points on the board here, Jeff. Like, you've been out here, you kind of stalled a little bit here in the first couple of after the first drive, your first touchdown drive. I think this is an opportunity to make a statement and to put points on the board or to get this first down.
So 4th and 2 now. And Buchholz wants to call a timeout, but give credit to that play call too. You know, Shannon, football is so much about understanding who's on the other side, and you know, we've seen Eastside do a really good job of taking things away from Justin Williams, but once that best defender went out of there in Daniels, the middle of the field was open, so they attacked it.
So weird, right? I mean, that's great coaching, right? You lose a guy, and then all of a sudden he's like, we got to attack the spot that he left.
All right, we'll find out if Buchholz can get it on 4th down when we come back. A tight one here tonight as the Bobcats lead at 8-7 on Friday Night Rivals. Welcome back to Friday Night Rivals. During the 4th quarter of the game tonight, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Bunch of school buses as we look to our right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, as a matter of fact. Bringing the students and certainly the players here to Citizens Field on the east side of Gainesville, where we've got a good one tonight and a big play coming up for this Buchholz offense. 4th and 2. Whittemore under center. He's going to fake the handoff. Roll to his right. He's got a wide open receiver. Good bootleg right there. And Ashton Norris, the sophomore running back, hauls it in for a UF Health Ortho Care first down.
Yeah, nice play call. We saw that earlier in the game, that little rollout. This time, Whittemore able to roll out and hit his guy and get some big yards for that first down.
We got another injury here for Eastside as the athletic trainer out there, and that's Daniels back out there, so they're tending to him again. He just doesn't look right.
Yeah, it looks like a growing. I don't know if it's a knee. I kind of saw before he actually had that injury, he was kind of, and he doesn't want to come out. I mean, you talk about a warrior, man, he's going to have to come out because that thing is not right. And maybe they just kind of ice him up until halftime and reevaluate him, but you don't want him out on the field to create some further damage or something bad to happen. And he knows just as much as everybody else is like, hey, I want to be out here. But if you're not 100%, you can't be. You don't want to be a liability, you don't want to hurt yourself more.
Well, let's give a big shout out to Tucker Chiropractic using the activator instrument so we don't twist and crack your back. They're going to go twist and crack Daniels under the UF Health Orthopedic and Sports Medicine tent and make sure that he's okay. May in fact just walk him right back into the locker room as he is not right. Buchholz on the right side of the field. And a nice toss there to the outside, and that is Johnson with some big yards before finally being brought down inside the red zone as Jalen Comer will bring him down.
That looks like it's going to come back here. You saw Holden on the edge over there.
We have had flags all over the place tonight.
Yeah, a lot of them if you're Buchholz, just, haven't been able, and they've gotten some outside plays going. They've done it out of that tight flex formation. But once again, those hands get outside those shoulder pad frames and they see that tug. And a lot of times, Jeff, when those things happen, the referees are on high alert. They look for it at that point. It's almost like if they don't see it, they're not going to call it. But if they see it once, and they're going to be like, oh, this is what they're doing. So if you're Buchholz, you got to do a better job of keeping those hands inside the frame and just know that the referees they're calling it.
So 10 yards back from the spot of the foul. Make it first and about 16 now for the Bobcats. Williams does not have a catch tonight. And as I say that, they give him the screen, but look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white jerseys. They know where number 13 is, and they're not allowing him to do anything.
Come on, Jeff. I mean, that's not by happenstance. They know where he's at. They know they pretty much know every package that Justin Williams is running. If he likes a bubble screen, if he likes quick slants, if he likes, sweeps out of the backfield, they've been all over it. And that's pure film watching and coaching. Coaches have coached that up, and they've gone out and executed to a T tonight. It's been masterful what they've done on defense against Justin Williams.
That backs him up with about another 5 yards, so second and more than 20 here as Whittemore tries to find someone down the field. Instead, Tuxton, he's going to get a shoulder from Kim Orton. Mack.
Good God. Listen, you better get down. He's taking 2 big hits tonight, and that's the last thing you want to see if you're Coach Mark Whittemore. If you're seeing your son, Andrew Whittemore, and especially your quarterback, taking those big hits. And Kamarion Mack, obviously one of those guys in that defense that is going to be really now counted on that we haven't seen DeMarco Daniels since he's went off the field.
Yeah, he has to step up, and he certainly did right there from that middle linebacker spot. So 3rd and a mile. They've got to get all the way up to that original Sonny's. That's just to the north here off of Waldo Road. Whittemore has it, looking around. He'll try to go down the field, and there's nobody there. Some miscommunication there. Williams went inside. The throw went outside. And it looks like Buchholz is going to be forced to punt.
Yeah, just a little bit. Like there's a lot of confusion. And let's give Eastside credit right now. They've got a really good defensive game plan. They've identified what they wanted to do with Justin Williams, and they're making another guy beat them, which hasn't really stepped up to that plate yet. So, and they're forcing 3rd and longs and 2nd and longs. So good job, good play calling by them. But if you're Buchholz, you got to get it together. You got the athletes out there. You got guys that can make things happen on this football field tonight. Just haven't been able to put the pieces in the puzzle yet.
So Ginta in for his second punt. His first one was really good, down at the 5-yard line. He'll try to do that again, and gets that right foot into it. Nice kick, and that will take a bounce. And how about that?
Oh, man. Good.
Down at the 5-yard line again. So senior Jay Ginta has been a weapon tonight.
Yeah, listen, you got to give him his flowers. I mean, just an excellent job for the second time tonight, penning the Eastside Rams down inside the 5-yard line.
Well, Eastside's got to go a long way, and we'll see what they can do when we come back. Just under 4 minutes to go until halftime as the Bobcats lead at 8-7 here on Friday Night Rivals. Well, during the 4th quarter of the game tonight, we'll be selecting our IBEW Local 1205's Player of the Game. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 1205, powering a brighter future. We'll see how much power this Eastside offense can have here as Nelson Tambling will get back to work. He's got to go 96 yards as the ball is placed on the 4-yard line. He's done a really nice job tonight. Big quarterback. He's put it on a couple of receivers' hands, but they just haven't helped him out.
Yeah, and that's the truth, Jeff. I mean, his receivers help him out. I think you can say Eastside probably leads this football game tonight, as well as they've been playing on defense. So receivers got to do a better job, and he's proven tonight that he's always a threat to run and get some tough yards. He's a big guy. He's a former defensive lineman, so he knows that defensive linemen like to run around and and try to chase sacks from around. So him stepping up in the pocket, which you've seen a lot tonight, is some of that defensive mentality, and he's making good decisions. So we'll see what he can do in the shadow of his end zone. The last time that they were down on the opposite end, it cost him some points off of a bad special teams play. So, but Tambling's been good, and his receivers just got to make sure that they take care of him.
And that's the importance of the defensive stand here for Buchholz. They have not been able to do much offensively tonight. So try to pin him down here and force something else, and that's going to back him up 2 more yards as false start will move halfway back towards the end zone.
Man, well, I mean, this, and we've seen those flags, and this is what you don't want to see. I mean, I feel like at some point in time that you're going to have to get Tambling, whether it be this game or whether it be, you know, sometime down the road, that you get him a wristband or get him something and just start pointing in numbers and tell him to do that. Like him running back over, you're talking about 25-yard sprints every single time that he wants to call a play. I just, you know, you got to preserve your quarterback.
Yeah, leaving the huddle with 10, and now everybody get lined up with only 3 on the clock. But Tambling tries to get it up the middle, and that's going to be a hold as another flag goes down. So they tried to get it to the tight end, and Johnson just wasn't allowed to go anywhere.
Yeah, that was that was as egregious of a hold as I've ever seen. He got up to shaking his hands like he had batted the ball down, but that was quite obvious to the referee that was interference right there.
Well, if you like penalty flags, you certainly like this game tonight. Bunch of them all over Citizens Field.
Yeah, I'm feeling like they could paint the field yellow because we've seen so many flags tonight, and not something you want to see. I mean, just it's not the undisciplined stuff, right? We've seen a couple face masks, we've seen some stuff, but like these are penalties that they're just you're in the middle of a heated game against a heated rival, and you know you can't have those. I mean, it's what's probably making this game close right here tonight.
And that's going to give Eastside a GFL first down as they hand it off. Gardner slicing his way for a couple of yards, but guess what? Another flag, and that'll be a hold on Eastside.
Oh my goodness, this is getting come on, guys. I mean, this is what you can't do. Is we talked about the holding, and we've seen it on what's happened with stalling some of these Buchholz drives. And the same thing's going to be said about Eastside. I mean, guys getting their hands outside that framework, and listen, both teams run outside zones. Outside zones are, you know, you got to block on an angle as an offensive lineman. You're blocking on an angle, reaching for outside numbers. But these athletic defenses are taught nowadays is to get outside and to hold outside containment, which causes holds. You know, when the referees see those jerseys pull away, they're automatically calling that, right? And Jeff, there's this old adage that you can call holding on every single play, and it's technically the truth. But they will call the ones that seem the most obvious.
Well, the White Hat's been all over the television screen tonight. As Tambling gets it, looks down the field, flips it, and that's picked off. And that is going to be a pick six right into the arms of Evan Amar. The senior linebacker stepped right into the throwing lane and then stepped right into the end zone.
Yes, sir. That's what happens. And listen, for everything that Nelson Tambling has done good tonight, that was a bad decision. All right, he stared that down. And they know exactly what they wanted to do. Eastside has thrown a lot of seam routes. They've thrown a lot of slant routes. And sure enough, if you're over there on that Buchholz the sideline, you say, hey, watch the slant, watch the seams. They want to get in. You guys step in front of those, you're going to be taking that to the house. And that's exactly what happened right there for Evan Amar.
A big defensive play there for the Bobcats as Ginta is in for the extra point. Good snap, good hold, and right through.
I mean, this kid can kick.
Yeah.
Woo.
Well, we saw him make a 40-yarder as a sophomore here. Guy with a strong leg for sure. One of the best here in North Central Florida. So Buchholz gets on the board with a defensive touchdown and now lead Eastside 15-7. And you see Amara there getting some love from his teammates.
Yeah, getting some love. And watch this again. You're going to see kind of just steps right in front of the slant lane. There was 2 guys there, Jeff.
Yep.
It wasn't like there was just one, and they stepped in front of that crossing lane, trying to go right up the seam, the right seam again, and you know have a guy there able to get his hands on it and walk that right into the end zone.
So lots of smiles for Amar. Well, Eastside will get the ball back. A little over 3 minutes to go, and they will get the ball back in the second half as well, as Buchholz won the toss, chose to get the ball first. So this is one of those 2-for-1 deals if Eastside can put something together offensively.
I mean, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, they could have had a 3-for-1 right there because of what happened that last. Before that last, they had a nice little play right there. They got up to 15-yarder, then they got themselves moved back, and then got a pick six. But they got to score here, right? Or keep the ball until halftime. Don't give Buchholz a chance to have any more points on this board.
Gardner with the return. Gets across the trunny before being shoved out of bounds. Well, we'll see if Eastside can get something going. And if they do, I'm sure everybody below us on the Eastside sideline will be raising the roof, just like we do with Mission Metals. Mission Metals, your trusted hometown metal roofing and metal building supplier, right here on Friday Night Rivals.
Now, if you're Eastside here, you're going to need you need a good drive. You can't set your offense back. You can't set your defense into a hole. You can't cost your team any more points. And we've seen that. For the most part, the defense has played really well. But yet, Buchholz's defense has played well themselves.
They'll hand it off. Not much room to run there. And a good defensive stop by Amir Shepard.
And I guess, Jeff, minus the first, their first touchdown in that, first or second quarter, they haven't had too much success. We talked about maybe they found an identity. Tambling was able to do a couple quarterback keepers. They were able to get the ball on a couple runs up the middle. But I think Buchholz has finally settled in. Their defense is playing well. And sure enough, it's made life a little bit difficult for this Eastside offense here in the second quarter.
They continue to have 4 wide, sometimes 5 wide. Tambling looking around, steps into it, and that is dropped. Again, third different Eastside receiver to drop a ball, and that's Johnson again, the tight end.
Hashtag catch the ball. And listen, Johnson, you can get open every day and Sunday, but if you cannot catch the ball, you can't be on the field. There's no reason. You should be an inline blocker at that point. And you got to take care of your quarterback, and that is always the problem, is that you get open, you're like, hey, the one thing you can't do is look upfield. You got to look that ball in, take care of your quarterback, catch the ball, and make it third and short or second, or get that first down. What we've seen here tonight is 3 or 4 drop balls that have really prevented Eastside from progressing on these drives.
Eastside going to call a timeout here. They want to talk things over. 3rd and about 7. And a big play for the Buchholz defense, because they could get the ball back with a couple minutes to go.
Yeah, and show that explosiveness. They're going to spread that thing out. Obviously, what we want to see, but for all intents and purposes, is that if you're Eastside, you got to stop shooting yourself in the foot. And we've seen the miscues, right? We've seen the bad snaps on. We've seen the bad snaps on special teams. We've seen the pick six. We've seen penalties. We've seen, and we get it. We're the 3rd game into the season. This is a rivalry game. They're going to go extra hard. There's going to be things that you don't want to have your guy get to a blocker. But at the end of the day, you have to execute. Execution. The team that executes the best is the team that wins the football game. And right now, it's the Buchholz Bobcats. And it's not saying that they've outplayed Eastside, because they haven't.
So we're about 2.5 minutes away from our Pavlov halftime report. Well, we'll have this week's Parks Motor Group of Gainesville Scholar Athletes. Parks Motor Group, local roots, community pride, and legendary rides. Plus, we'll also talk with tonight's participating school administrators. We'll have Thursday Night Lights, Friday Night Rival highlights from all over the country, thanks to our Pavlov Media halftime report. So 3rd and 7 here for Eastside. Big play. And that one is dropped again. Right into the arms of Caleb McKinnon, the senior wide receiver. And Tambling is getting no help tonight.
Yeah, it feels like a little bit of like he's being punked right now. It's like, hey, just drop all the passes and see if we can break them. Come on, guys. It's one thing to have a good quarterback and a guy that can get the ball out there, but if you can never catch it, it doesn't mean anything. And sure enough, it makes it 4th down, and you can't really blame Nelson Tambling for what we've seen here tonight, right? He had a bad throw, but I think he's made a lot of good ones that could have put his team into a position to be successful.
And Shannon, how often do you see this? Because of the bad snaps, Tambling is actually going to be the long snapper here. And he'll fire it back to the punter perfectly. And there's going to be a flag on the play.
They roughed him up.
They running right into the kicker. Almost got the block, but did not get it. And looks like Evan Walker.
It's going to be automatic first down.
We'll give Eastside. So, I mean, how many times have you seen a quarterback turn into a long snapper?
So after that second bad snap, I was watching on the sideline and I saw Nelson Tambling just kind of snapping the ball in the long snapper formation. So I think they had it. I think he's been the kind of the backup. But how talented is this kid, right? He can play defensive end. He plays quarterback. I'm sure he plays tight end as well. But then he's a long snapper. Like this is a Swiss Army knife. You think about, guys across that we've seen that have played multiple positions, right? Who's the guy from New Orleans that plays tight end, does a bunch of stuff, H-back.
Oh, yes.
Does just a bunch of stuff, but that's kind of like what I'm talking about, right? He does a bunch of things, and he does them well, right? And so, but his receivers now have to take care of him because he's hitting these passes. They're just not, they're not catching them.
So the roughing the kicker gives Eastside another chance on offense, and Tamling's
got, oh my God, please catch it. There you go.
Finally caught, and that is Cofield all the way into the end zone.
Sweet dreams, thank God.
So it was a bobble, but then he hauled it in, and Cofield, the senior wide receiver, right down the middle of the field, and just like that, we've got another ball game.
I would have been sick if he drove, like just an unbelievable. Once again, a corner route, and then that outside route turned into like a post seam route, and those seams have been open all night. If you're Buchholz, you got to address that. Right? I don't know if you're playing cover 2. Those seams have been just butt naked open all night, and sure enough, a little bit of a bobble right there, but they were finally able to get a big play for 6 points.
So Eastside just a 2-point conversion away from tying this thing up. You'll have Mack in the backfield with Tambling, and he'll try to flip it out that way, but he can't hang on to it either. But a big penalty gives Eastside the ball back, and they take a shot down the field right away and score it. 60 yards on this throw and catch by Nelson Tambling.
Yeah, Tambling just dropping dimes. And, one thing is I'd love to see what his maturity has been. Yeah, I've definitely been coached up well, right? And you saw him last year at GHS, and he had some skills. He had some stuff that he could do well. You could tell if he was coached a little bit, he'd do good. See Marcus Cofield able to take that baby to the house. Nice job. They got you dropping, young man. But also Tambling just, doing just a great job of finding the open guy and very calm back there under pressure. So kudos to him and really doing a good job of leading his team in a lot of different areas in this football game tonight.
So the Rams within 2. Just a gorgeous night tonight. Slight breeze. We're down to 80 degrees. And we've got a ball game here between crosstown rivals. Good kick. And Williams will take it on the run. Finding a hole up the left side. He's at the 30. Now at the 35.
Oh,
my gosh. Another flag.
This is oh my gosh. You got to for me as a guy, that's analyzing football games, but also as a fan, you realize sometimes there's dumb plays that happen that should have never happened, Jeff. And this is one of them. This play was far away from the play, didn't need to happen, and you're going to see a hold that happens that just didn't need to happen. It was 10 yards away, and now it ends up moving your team back.
Yeah, Williams was already by him.
Oh, easily, just up that left sideline, and could have started him in pretty good position here with 157 left, but. And you move the ball back, and this has been the Achilles heel for Buchholz tonight. It's not that they're not talented. We saw what Justin Williams just did right there. We've seen the defense tonight. We've seen guys that have yet to get involved in this offense, but it's just the undisciplined, stupid penalties that have cost you here tonight.
All the way back to the 11-yard line. That's where Buchholz will start things off. This Eastside student section below us. Into the game.
Oh, they're hyped. They're smelling blood in the water.
5 wide for the Bobcats. 4 rushers coming after Whittemore, who steps up into the pocket, and that one is behind the intended receiver.
Yeah, I think they're figuring it out now. If you got to try to get Whittemore off his spot. He's not as accurate, obviously, on the run. Get him off his spot and try to throw something there. And sure enough, that pass in no man's land, but could have been picked off.
Trying for Avery Norris. That was the guy that just committed the penalty on the hold. Remember, they're without Keel McGriff, who right behind Justin Williams. He's their next best receiver. Whittemore back. He looks, finds Williams, and he is immediately stuck.
Oh, my gosh.
And we talked about Kamarian Mack laying the lumber on Whittemore, and he just did it to number 13, Justin Williams.
That was actually number 4 right there, Tremaine Montague, and we've seen him. Yeah, listen, we call that a hospital ball, where your quarterback sees it as like, hey, somebody's playing a zone, which he was playing a cover 2 right there, and sure enough, that flat kind of floated it out there and just took all sorts of punishment. This is Eastside. They're getting there, Jeff, and not only are they hitting and tackling, they're getting there with bad intentions. They're wanting to put the Bobcats into the ground with some of these hits that they're laying down.
Well, all of a sudden it's 3rd and 10, and there's only been about 15 seconds go off the clock. Middle screen, and there's another big hit.
Jeez.
This time it is number 5, Kamarian Mack. And those middle linebackers are playing hard after Daniels came out of the game.
Good gosh. That's all you hear from it. You hear it from the student section, but you hear it throughout the stadium, like the roar of after these big hits. And see right here, the middle screen is dead. They see it coming. And they're very well coached right here, where they're playing man coverage. And you see right there, Kamarian Mack has been, he was spying it. He was spying number 1 right there for Chris Johnson, number 1 right there for Buchholz. And they are fired up, Jeff. They got a plan, and they've been executing it really well tonight.
And they're going to get the ball back here. Gunta's going to have to lay that right foot into another big one.
I mean, conceivably, if we're talking being realistic here, the scoreboard says 15-13 Buchholz, but, you know, Eastside has really outplayed them here in the first half, especially here in the second quarter.
Yeah, pick 6 gave Buchholz their 2nd touchdown. Eastside returner is just across midfield. And Gunta will punt from his own end zone.
Now you got to be careful if you're Buchholz. Don't return the favor. Don't return the favor of something bad happening here.
Well,
oh my gosh. Wow.
Takes a good roll out to about midfield, but exactly what just happened to Eastside now happens to Buchholz. Roughing the kicker.
You've got to be kidding us. This might be running into the kicker. Oh, it is roughing the kicker. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. Like, you should have learned the lesson of what happened with Buchholz on the previous drive that extended yours, and sure enough, you didn't. And I don't know, Jeff, each team, you see him coming off the edge. It was a free run at the edge, and he got there, and you got to be a little bit more cognizant of trying to take the ball off the top of the foot of the punter. But sure enough, you get anywhere close to him and you have any kind of contact, you run that risk of getting a 15-yarder.
So we'll see if Buchholz can take advantage of it now. They get new life offensively after not being able to get even a first down on the previous possession. Whittemore will just hand it off this time, run up the middle, and that one is clogged up by the D tackle Chad Hall. Minimal gain of about 3.
Yeah, the interior of that Buchholz Eastside defensive line has done a great job tonight of shutting down a lot of those runs and continue to do so.
Whittemore in the shotgun. And they're just going to hand it off again. Johnson with a spin before taken down and only a couple of yards. So it looks like Buchholz is content here with taking a 2-point lead into halftime.
Yeah, taking that lead into halftime and trying to regroup. I think maybe you can feel good about getting out of here with the halftime lead. But you've got to be aware that this game is really an even game. Eastside has played very, very well defensively in this first half, and they are a real threat to take this win here tonight.
20 seconds to go, 15 on the play clock. So Buchholz will have to snap it one more time. They do. And hand it off to Johnson. He's got enough for a first down, but clock's going to run. And now stop as they move the chains with 4 seconds to go. So that's a UF Health Ortho Care first down, where walk-ins are welcome 7 days a week. Well, both of these teams are going to walk into the locker room, and I think, Shannon, one would be happier than the other. You see that Eastside team in white, a lot of smiles. They've got to be happy, only trailing by 2 here tonight against one of the better teams in the state. Yeah,
I mean, really, and have kind of outplayed them. So we'll see how this plays out in the second half and who makes the better halftime adjustments. But really nice job by Eastside defensively. All right, let's head down to Randy, who's got Mark Whittemore.
Mark, quickly, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, a lot of mistakes on the field by both teams. A little sloppy, but you kind of expect that in a city rivalry. Emotions are high. Some defensive football being played out there, and we just got to continue to play hard, and I think some good things are going to happen.
Talk about your special teams. There's a rainbow right there. You take a look at it. Blocked a punt for a touchdown so far this season. Punt return for a touchdown. 2 safeties. Can they play any better?
We want to win the special teams, that's for sure. And tonight we're doing that. Got to keep that up. We're playing great defense. We got to find a way to get the ball in the end zone, and we're going to be just fine.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Appreciate you.
Jeff and Shannon, an entertaining first half. Back upstairs to you guys.
All right, Randy, thank you very much. So Mark Whittemore positive, but certainly some halftime adjustments need to be made. We'll take a break, and we'll come back with our halftime show brought to you by Pavlov Media. We'll do that when we come back here on Friday Night Rivals.
Parks Motor Group of Gainesville is proud to present the Scholar Athlete of the Week. Nelson Tambling plays varsity football at Eastside High School. His junior year, he played football at Gainesville High School, leading the program with a 5-5 record, an improvement from 1 win in the previous 20 games. He also played varsity basketball at the Rock School during his sophomore year. With a 4.52 GPA, Nelson takes his studies seriously. He's never had less than an A grade in any course. He scored a 1460 on the SAT with a retake expected to exceed 1500. He's augmented his Rock School, Homeschool, and Eastside High School curriculum with advanced placement courses including Calculus BC, Micro and Macroeconomics, World History, Computer Science, and Physics. Nelson gives back by assisting at a horse therapy program. There, he mentors and inspires children who have experienced incredible hardships. Nelson pursues faith-based initiatives where he can provide counsel and courage. In his free time, Nelson enjoys stage performance and directing plays. He also plays chess and the video game War Thunder. This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to the Parks Motor Group of Gainesville's Scholar Athlete of the Week, Nelson Tambling.
On behalf of Parks Motor Group of Gainesville, congratulations on all of your hard work.
Thank you very much. It's a very big honor to be receiving this award tonight.
And welcome to the Pavlov Media Halftime Report. At the break right now, the home team Buchholz on top of Eastside 15-13. What a game we have here in week number 3. And what a guest we have is the administrator from Eastside, the one and only Daniel Litton. He is the theater director at Eastside. Welcome to the halftime show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Absolutely.
Talk about your theater program. What does that entail when you talk about the theater program at Eastside?
So at Eastside, we do 2 shows per year, and those are extracurricular shows. This year we are doing 2 productions as well. On top of that, we also attend 2 festivals, which are essentially a competition for theater, the district and state level festival.
And what are some of the shows that you're going to be putting on then?
So this year we have the plans to do The Crucible. We actually just started rehearsal for it on Wednesday. That'll be going up in mid-November. And then for our spring musical, we'll be performing The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is one of my absolute favorites, and I'm just beyond excited to direct it.
And I know the program has won numerous awards. Can you encapsulate some of the awards you've won in the past?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the biggest ones is we won the district representative about 2 years ago, which means out of every single piece in the district at the district competition, we had the best one. And I had 2 students who got to perform at the state level in front of about 14,000 people with that individual piece. On top of that, every single year we bring home an unbelievable amount of superiors, which is the highest ranking you can get. And for the past 2 years, we have gotten more superiors than excellence, which is the second highest rank. And then we've also had 3 to 4 top honors per last 2 years.
Final question. I'm 47 out of 47 on this. Have you ever produced the musical Grease?
No, I have not.
Oh, my gosh. 47 out of 48 then.
I can't be. I'm not a big Grease guy, personally.
Finally, for more information, where can people go if they want to find out more about your program?
You can contact me at my district email, which is located on the Eastside High School staff directory. And you can also reach out to me via the phone. If you call Eastside High School and ask for Mr. Litton, they'll send you right to me.
Daniel, thanks for your time here at halftime.
Thank you very much as well. It's been a pleasure.
15-13 the tally here at the break. We'll be back with more in just a moment. This is the Pavlov Media Halftime Report on My 11.
Parks Motor Group of Gainesville is proud to present the Scholar Athlete of the Week. Prince Fortuna is a member of the Buchholz High School varsity wrestling team. He's a wrestling district champion in his weight class and has placed in several different tournaments, including the Capital City Tournament, where he came in second place, the Palm Bay Tournament and the Wolfpack IBT Tournament, where he came in fourth place, and the Clay Rotary Tournament, where he came in fifth place. Prince was born in the Dominican Republic and spent his first 12 years of his life there. He has a 3.41 GPA, and he focuses on his education as well as his wrestling. He gives back by volunteering with a youth wrestling club as a referee. He also does community service with his wrestling team. This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to the Parks Motor Group of Gainesville Scholar Athlete of the Week, Prince Fortuna.
On behalf of Parks Motor Group of Gainesville, congratulations on all of your hard work.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity to apply for this and win it. Thank you.
The Pavlov Media Halftime Show rolls on at the break. 15-13. Buchholz on top of Eastside, joined now by the administrator from the one and only Buchholz High School. He is the man I look up to, Kevin Purvis. Kevin, welcome, and let's talk about all that goes on at your school. I know the culture is tremendous at Buchholz, is it not?
Yeah, the culture's outstanding, being a Bobcat, all the way from our community, our teachers, our students. Our student section's incredible. Look at the fans, the Golden Regiment, our cheer team. It is just an entire culture set together for excellence, academically, athletically, extracurricular. It's an exciting place to be.
I don't want to say I don't trust you, but let's hear it from an actual student, if that's okay. This is Kendall Purvis, and my goodness, you have the same last name. Have you met this guy?
Yeah.
What is he, your father?
Yeah.
What is it like to be a Bobcat?
It's really great. I love the people here, and I would not go to a different school. Like, I would go here.
You love it that much?
Yeah.
And this is Harper, your cousin. Harper, isn't this fun being here tonight?
Yes, sir, it is.
Now, you owe me $5 for that. No, I'm just kidding. No. Now, let's get you back here, Kevin. This has been a special night to be here to host this contest, and we want to make a special presentation because the IBEW Local 1205 is represented. You've got the president, James Engel, here tonight. James, I know.
Thank you so much, man. Hey, and what a great first half of football. This has been a great night out here, and we're very proud to be able to offer this check. You know, the IBEW, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, we really believe in supporting our communities, and this is a great way we can do it. So we're proud to be here.
Well, thank you very much. My son is in the IBEW. My dad was, so we appreciate the generosity and what y'all represent.
That's
yes,
awesome,
sir.
Man. It's great to work with you. Great to work with you.
Well, you're an open group. If people want to join or be a part of this program, how can they do that?
So the IBEW has offered some great career options. You know, we've got an apprenticeship program that is earn while you learn with no student debt. Easiest way is just Google IBEW, and wherever you are, that'll get you in touch with us. IBEW Local 1205 is here in Gainesville, and we're always looking for people that want to be good electricians.
James, thank you for all that you do for high school sports.
All right, thanks so much.
Now, the bad news is, Kevin, you've got to find an extremely large bank to cash this check.
Yes, sir. Well, we'll take it. We love it. We'll put it back into our students. We just appreciate our community that helps our high schools and Buchholz High School. It's an exceptional thing, and we can't say enough good things about it.
And Friday Night Rivals really thanks you for a great night.
We appreciate Friday Night Rivals also, and for letting us bring kids in, because that's what it's about.
And let's appreciate the second half. That is just around the corner. What a game we have in week number 3. 15-13, Buchholz on top. The second half just around the corner right here on My 11.
Bounds Heating and Air is proud to present the Teacher's Spotlight of the Week. This week's spotlight shines on Deborah Fields of Buchholz High School. Ms. Fields attended Tuskegee University. She's been a teacher for 42 years, and all of them had been at Buchholz. Ms. Fields teaches Language Arts course Reading 1. She's also the club advisor of the Pre-Collegiate College of Knowledge. Ms. Fields' mission in teaching is to make sure that students understand the importance of the art of language. She believes that there is power in our words. She also encourages students to read for education, everyday existence, edification, and enjoyment. Ms. Fields' favorite thing about teaching is seeing students, years after graduation, as productive citizens, and she enjoys hearing about their memories of Buchholz. Congratulations, Deborah Fields. Teacher Spotlight is proudly brought to you by Bounds Heating and Air. Experience the highest quality of comfort. Bounds Heating and Air.
The best Thursday night lights and Friday night rivals highlights from across the country.
And here comes Khalil Taylor. Welcome to the Rams, Mr. Khalil. He can fly. There goes Khalil Taylor without his team. Here goes Khalil. Across midfield. The kicker to beat. Khalil Taylor. Welcome to Park Richland, young man. Anything you can do, I can do better. DZ.
Trying to find somebody. Good coverage there. Here comes Agent Zero with a big hit. Wow! Justin Hartley came in and laid down the leather old school style.
Facing some pressure, Lawrence with the catch and the moves. Gets past midfield and more. Another move. 40, 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
Starting the fourth quarter, Bradley going long. Trying for a home run hit, and as he makes the catch. Yes, he does. Great catch by Keita Rego into the red zone, and that's how you ignite a crowd to start the fourth quarter.
From 59 yards, hold is good, kicks on the way, and he drilled it. With room to spare, Tommy Baccaro extends the front with a...
Welcome back to the Pavlov Media Halftime Report, joined now by Gator Hoskins. Coach, first of all, let's get your thoughts about the first 24 minutes of action. What did you think?
I think our defense is playing really, really well tonight. Too many mistakes, though, in that first half. Offensively, we gave them 15 points. Too many mistakes, special teams as well.
Marco Daniels with the upper leg injury. Is there a chance he could come back tonight?
We'll see, man. He's going to get some rehab. We'll see what the trainers decide on that.
Are you still working on the transition of getting those plays in? Will that change in the second half?
No, I think we're doing a pretty good job of getting the plays in. Just a couple mistakes when we were going for 2 or 1, but I think we're doing a good job of getting the plays in.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
15-13 the tally here at the break. What a second half we're going to have. Stick around for it. That's just around the corner right here. This has been the Pavlov Media Halftime Reports on My 11.
Second half action here at Citizens Field. A couple of crosstown rivals as Buchholz and Eastside in a tight one tonight. The Bobcats lead it 15-13 here on IBEW Local 1205's Friday Night Rivals. Alongside Shannon Snell, I am Jeff Cardozo. And Shannon, certainly an entertaining first half. You heard both of the coaches there say there were a lot of mistakes, so you would think halftime adjustments would be to try to eliminate the yellow flags getting out on the field all the time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's just, we saw more yellow flags than I feel like we saw plays in that first half, Jeff. And, you know, I get it. You know, some games are like that. And you heard Coach Mark Whittemore say before the game, it's a crosstown rivalry. You know, we get after one another, but I think those flags were excessive. So we'll see who comes out and executes better in the second half, and we'll see who comes away with this win.
So Ginta set to kick off for Buchholz, as Eastside will get the ball first here in half number 2. Good kick right on the end zone line, and that will be a touchback. So Nelson Tambling in this offense will take over. Tambling was, when you look at the numbers, not very good, but realistically he was very good. Hit a ton of receivers in the hands, and Shannon, at least 5 or 6 drop passes in that first half.
Yeah, almost a big drop pass there at the end, but you know, a receiver able to hang on to it and take it for a big touchdown there. So, you know, and this has got to be the key in the second half, is that Tambling's making the right decisions, right? I think we're going to see him use those feet a little bit more. I think, you know, the talk was, hey, we got to protect the seams and protect those crossing patterns if you're slant patterns if you're Buchholz, but maybe Tambling runs a little bit more here in the second half, and maybe we see him open it up a little bit more himself.
Kamarian Mack in the backfield. He gets it first and falls forward for about a half a yard gain. Good pursuit by that Buchholz defense, where Mark Whittemore said, hey, we were really good on defense, and guess what? Already a flag here to start off the second half.
What are we doing? I mean, come on, guys. I mean, I get this is a crosstown rivalry, Jeff, and, you know, emotions run high and yada, yada, yada. You could insert, and sure enough, it's an unsportsmanlike conduct on Eastside. But I get that. But at the end of the day, it's like this is a team sport. This isn't an individualized one-on-one matchup. And when you start doing, let's just call it what it is, stupid things that cost your team yards, as this has happened to Eastside quite a few times, then it's kind of a selfish act, and it can't be tolerated. I'm sure it won't be by Gator Hoskins.
And you have to know that these guys are willing to drop their flags tonight. So you got to be careful, certainly.
Absolutely.
Gator Hoskins wants a quick explanation of what's going on. And again, you don't know what was said, and both teams were away from each other, just a little smack talk. I think sometimes, too, you can also let that kind of stuff go in a rivalry game.
For sure. But I think once the refs get going, I mean, I think that yellow flag flies a lot. And, you know, give it for what it's worth. Sometimes you just really never know how that plays out.
But Tambling back to pass, has the intended receiver. Good open field tackle there, as right now Cameron Burse, the sophomore defensive back, with the tackle after the minimal completion to Cofield, who caught the big touchdown late in that second quarter.
Yeah, hot ball to Cofield, but even better tackle right there. So good job. And that's one thing Buchholz has done well tonight, is tackle when they've been able to get their arms wrapped around the defender, the offensive player. So and we'll continue to see that from them. They're a well-coached team, but, you know, this is where they got to come to play. The defense has to shut them down and try to put Eastside into a position where they're punting from their own end zone again.
3rd and 13 now for this Ram offense. Tambling has it, looking for a receiver, but he's not going to find anybody. He's just going to find some stains on his jersey. 4 different Bobcats in there, again led by Evan Walker, the senior defensive end.
Now, I will say this, Jeff, is that I said one of the keys to the game for Buchholz at the onset was to send the dogs, and sure enough, they're sending heat at them. They're sending guys out of 3-man fronts and sending guys out of 4-man fronts. So they're trying to make Nelson Tambling nervous back there, and did a good job right there getting a sack.
Yeah, Maris Bryant in there as well, the junior defensive lineman. Buchholz just pinned their ears back and came after the 6'5", 245-pound quarterback. Good snap here, and finally a punt gets off. Justin Williams, a return man, gets pushed out of the way, and that's going to take a huge Eastside bounce. Roll of a good 20 yards.
What a punt.
So the first punt that Eastside's able to get off, and Antonio Cortez puts a good boot into it.
Yeah, Jeff, that was close to about a 60-yard punt right there off of the roll, 55, 60-yard punt. So nice job of flipping the field and, you know, getting that defense back on the field. We saw some really good things out of this defense, this Eastside defense in the first half. See if they can continue it. And on the opposite side, let's see what Mark Whittemore has counteracted as his chess move. He knew his offense didn't play well. He knew there was a lot of sloppy penalties, missed blocks, missed assignments. So let's see what they got here in the second half. And let's see if they can get Justin Williams involved.
And you heard Randy ask Gator Hoskins about number 2, Marco Daniels, and whether or not he'd be able to get out on the field. And guess what?
He's there.
Number 2's right there in middle linebacker spot. So certainly something to keep an eye on here. As Whittemore's in the shotgun to get things going in the second half. He hands it off. Johnson has the carry. They've gone right over left tackle a lot tonight. And that is a good first-yard gain of about 5 yards.
Yeah, and they've been really okay with running that ball up the middle. And, you know, haven't really seen Buchholz open it up like we've seen them in the past, right? And they've stopped the screen game. They stopped a lot of the little trick plays that they'd like to do. But we haven't really seen any hardcore routes to Justin Williams, routes to any of the other playmakers on the edge. They've been very content in lining up in this tight formation and running the football.
But Williams has one-on-one coverage now, far side of the field. Whittemore is going to hand it off, though, and right up the gut goes Johnson. Another good, hard run. Gain of about 15 on the play as he crosses midfield.
Excellent run right there between the tackles by Johnson, able to kind of float to the outside but find another cut lane back in the inside and get those extra yards. So excellent job, excellent ball vision by the running back. You're going to see here, he's going to come right up the middle. And he could have cut this to the outside. He sees it there, but no, I'm going back in the middle behind my blockers. That's excellent job of following your blockers and letting them get the most out of it for you.
Jermaine Montague in there on the tackle. Whittemore sends a guy in motion, and he'll hand it off again. Johnson trying to be patient, but nowhere to run that time as he gets stood up by a couple of those Eastside linebackers, and no gain on the play.
Yeah, back to doing what Eastside has been doing all night. You know, a bunch of and I just don't know. And this is what I'm going to say about DeMarco Daniels down there. I mean, just still doesn't look good. He's going to come. Sorry, that's not DeMarco Daniels. It's number 5, Kamarion Mack. Was a little gimpy coming off at the end of the first half. So they got their linebackers in, you know, a spot to where they've been taking some shots.
2nd and 10 after no gain. They'll hand it off again. And much better yardage there. Great push by that offensive line. Gain of about 8 for Johnson. So they keep attacking the right side of that Eastside defense, going behind those big fellas on the left side on that offensive line.
And this is it's not a bad game plan. Listen, you got beef up front. You're going to run behind that beef. You're going to run behind those hogs. And that's what Buchholz is doing, and has gone to the well quite a few times and made it 3rd and real short here.
Yeah, continuing to play with 2 tight ends. Daryl Godbolt, the tight end on that left side, as they give it to Johnson again, and he's going right behind those blockers. Gets through the second level, and he's got another first down, brought to you by UF Health Ortho Care, where walk-ins are welcome 7 days a week.
Counter, trap. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing extra people going. You're going to see the guard pull around here. He's going to come around this left edge, and sure enough, bang, he's leading up into that hole and just creating chaos. And he didn't hit anybody there, but once the running back tucks in behind him, it's hard to find him. And that's the counter play. Whenever you're running it, it's just a tough play to defend.
And that's Ibrahim Shahir. He transferred from Eastside to Buchholz this year. Johnson's been the workhorse this possession. He'll get it again. This time going around the right side's got a nice hole again. And close to first down yardage on that run.
I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, this is the dominance I think that we wanted to see out of Buchholz in that first half. But now they're starting to open up holes. They're wearing these guys down, and somebody had to talk to that offensive line and have them be like, "What are y'all doing? Like, well, what are we doing? Like, haven't been able to run the ball, been kind of stuffed throughout this entire football contest. But this first drive of this half has been really nice for them."
Another handoff, and Eastside stuffs this one a little bit, but Johnson still chugging and churning. He crosses that first down marker, so that's another first down brought to you by GFL. Green today, green for life. And that, Shannon, has eaten up half of this third quarter. So great job by this Buchholz offensive line, and certainly that was a part of the conversation, is that will take us to a water break.
Yeah, it's been just run after run, 7 straight runs here, and just eating away at that line and just wearing them down, because we're in the third quarter. All right, this is going to pay dividends in the fourth when those holes that are big now become caverns.
All right, so we'll step aside. There you see the big fellas, that offensive line doing some damage here on the first drive to open up the third quarter. Buchholz leads it by 2 here on Friday Night Rivals. Well, there you see the school buses just off to the south of the end zone. And on the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game. Law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. The offensive line flashing their dominance here for Buchholz.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's been really fun to watch those guys blocking on this drive.
So look at Johnson in the backfield again as Whittemore goes under center. And guess what? They'll hand it off to Johnson again. He's found another hole, working hard, and just shy of the goal line. Another strong run, but he's going left, he's going right, and better yet, he's going for big gains here, and Buchholz is going to go quickly here as Whittemore is going to get it, and he'll try the quarterback sneak again. Moving those feet, they'll try to pull him back, and I'm not sure he got there.
I don't think he did. Yeah, I think he got stuffed right at the line. And listen, you're Whittemore, you got to get those pads down. They kind of stood up at the line, and they hurried up offense off of that shift into that double tight for a big run. But sure enough, they just, you got to get those pads down if you're doing a quarterback sneak.
We're in the Column Mattress red zone. Deal's so hot they built a fire station across the street. Well, Johnson's been the workhorse here this drive. First time that he hasn't touched it on that quarterback sneak, but he's in the backfield here for 2nd and goal, and they'll give it to him, and he's going to find the end zone. What a drive by the senior, 5'10", 172-pounder Chris Johnson, as he takes the Bobcats all the way down the field, and it's now 21-13.
Yeah, that was an excellent drive, and you give all the credit to the offensive line. Chris Johnson obviously did a lot of the heavy lifting right there, but that offensive line just opened up, middle of that offensive line opened up hole after hole after hole, and sure enough, this was the big payoff for them. Just utter dominance at the line. There was no passes on there. Coach Mark Whittemore said, let's forget about putting the ball in the air for this, for the first part of this third quarter, and just lit them up front.
Kenta in for the extra point. And it is up and good, and not so good news for Eastside. Marco Daniels is really struggling. He's hobbling off the field again. He can't even put any weight on his right foot. So he tried to give it a go here in the second half, but it has been a struggle for the great linebacker from Eastside. Not a struggle for that guy, though, is Chris Johnson. Goes all the way down the field, and a great job of getting going for the senior as he finds pay dirt.
He better go give that offensive line a big old hug, because them boys were rooting and getting these guys out of the trenches. Fantastic job by them on this third quarter. After what we've seen, and you see here, just opening up, there's that counter play again. Or actually, that was a power play, guard up in the hole and just leading around, and Johnson just gets right behind the guard and just takes it in there. And that's just a super difficult play, especially on, if they're blocking well at the point of attack on the front side. That guard is just going to be extra cleanup help. So nice job. There's the O-line. Nice job by that offensive line of opening up the really caverns after caverns and making this score a little bit.
Yeah, it was Ibrahim Shahir. Their big old number 72 made his way over to Buchholz this year to solidify that offensive line. And Shannon, I guess if this was a collegiate level, although some people get it now, and at the high school level, Johnson would be buying that offensive lineman a bunch of watches or something like that with their NIL deals.
Hello. Listen, if I don't think Rex Grossman or Chris Leak or anybody will listen to this broadcast, but I'll take a post blocking gift, if you will.
That's right. Oh, there's the ball out. Justin Williams with the hit. And we'll see who falls up on it.
It looks like they got the ball back.
Buchholz has it. So Williams hasn't really been a part of the offense tonight. They haven't been able to get him the ball, but he just made a big, impactful hit on special teams. And Buchholz does, in fact, have it.
Wow.
So Buchholz will take back over again. There you see the hit by Williams, knocking that ball out. Eastside had it, just couldn't pick it up. And then it looked like it was number 16, Ray Sanchez, the sophomore linebacker, diving in on it.
Man.
His brother Tony's playing at the collegiate level. Good tight end for Buchholz last year.
Well, and here we are. This is kind of what Buchholz does. They've been so good in the special teams area tonight, and sure enough, this is what we see right here. Forcing a fumble on this kickoff, and now you give them short territory after coming off what was really a punishing drive on their last touchdown drive.
Well, and that's how you earn more and more playing time. You do it on special teams. With Sanchez making an impact, just a sophomore. So back to work go the Bobcats. And Chris Johnson in the backfield. Some confusion there. They'll still get it to Johnson, and a flag comes in after a pretty nice gain. But it's going to be a hold and come back.
Yeah, Johnson able to break that first tackle. You see Buchholz, Eastside knows what's coming. They know that run's coming up the middle. Johnson yet able to dance out the way, and unfortunately for the hold, that it nullifies that really big run right there.
Well, it looks like they were trying to call a timeout for a water break, but they just remember they already had one.
Huh. Bobby Boucher would be disappointed in that, but still got a little bit more football left to play for the next one, gentlemen.
Yeah, you want to get Bobby Boucher mad, you just say water sucks.
Yeah, I don't think I want to be on the other end of that punishment.
He'll go hit somebody.
He sure will.
Johnson again in the backfield. And Whittemore will hand it to him. Running right behind those big old bodies again, up the middle for about 5.
I feel like this is just, you can see it now, Jeff. You can see guys now. This is not, another thing you don't want to see. Number 5, Kamarian Mack on the ground. It's just, it's punishing. Like when you got guys that are coming at you and just, oh man, you got your 2 best linebackers that are now out.
Yeah, Daniel's already out of the game, and now Mack can barely move that right leg.
Well, and this is what happens when you have, a big offensive line and you have guys that are, that are able to get up to backers and they keep taking this stuff over, taking punishment over and over again. Now you're back down to you're down to your backup linebackers, and guess what, Jeff? They weren't able to stop all that stuff that was coming out the middle. So this offensive line is really, this is what happens. This is when you struggle. Running the ball is the best form to cure those struggles, and you see right now what it does. It punishes people. I actually love it just because of the very fact of I remember 25 years ago. Well, I'm aging myself, and I used to do the same thing.
Yeah, you love the game plan here by Travis McGriff, the offensive coordinator. This will be the first pass of the second half. Whittemore rolling to his left, throwing across his body, and that one is just out of bounds. Brooks caught it, but couldn't get the foot down.
Yeah, and nice thought in mind, but I feel like you didn't have to. Right, you could have ran the rest of this third quarter down by just eating and chopping away and chopping. Well, it's 4th and 10, so I mean maybe you try pass here, but needless to say, I think you could run for that and make this 4-down territory. I think you have the guys and the studs up front have proven themselves to be able to run off big chunk gains here in this third quarter.
Yeah, just 3rd down after the penalty, so. Chains were a little messed up. I think we've got it all fixed now. So 3rd and about 16 here for Whittemore in the offense. He'll just hand it off. And Johnson maneuvering through the offensive line for a minimal gain. So that'll allow us to see how strong the right leg of Jay Gunta is. And looks like he'll attempt right around a 37-yarder. He's got plenty of leg. Whittemore will be the holder. And that ball is just to the left of the upright. Plenty of distance, but he pulled it. Just like Shannon Hooks' driver all the time. All the way down to Sonny's. Needed the pitching wedge to keep it straight. Bobcats still lead it though, but Eastside will take over when we come back. It's 22-13 here on Friday Night Rivals. During the 4th quarter of the game tonight, we'll be selecting our IBEW Local 1205 Player of the Game. It's the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 1205, powering a brighter future. There hasn't been a ton of dominant offense tonight. A couple of quarterback runs into the end zone, one long drive by Chris Johnson, and now we'll see what Eastside can do as Nelson Tambling will bring the boys in white back out there.
Yeah, and a big drive will go a long way here, Jeff. I mean, getting some sort of points on the board, I think. And Eastside suffered some really important defensive injuries here on that last drive. But, this is the opportunity for the offense to maybe tire out some of this Buchholz defense and to really get Tambling back going again.
Tambling back to pass. Quick little screen and some room to run. And good play there on 1st down as Javaris Gardner, still on his feet, ends up getting enough for a 1st down, and that is a UF Health Ortho Care 1st down, or walk-ins are welcome 7 days a week.
Excellent screen call right there. You saw one of the things that Buchholz has done is that they're sending heat off the edge, and sure enough, that screen nullifies that and gets them a nice gain right there. You see Jarvis Gardner able to spin right there, and that tackle was it was nice. He held on because he did that spin. He could have got up and kept running. It might have been in the end zone.
Hand off here, just a couple of yards.
Better play calls Better play calls here from Eastside. Able to do a couple different things. You saw what they were doing. Obviously, Tambling on 1st down, running up the middle. Run on 2nd down. Now they're throwing in a little bit of a screen game. They're starting to kind of maybe chip away at the middle of that defense. So better calls right there for that Eastside coaching staff.
And what Buchholz did do is really eat up the entire clock here in the 3rd quarter. We're under 2 minutes to go with that really long drive. Tambling back to pass. He's got a guy up the seam, but just behind the intended receiver, Cofield, who caught the touchdown earlier. Would have had it again, but ball just off the mark.
Yeah, and we can say that was really one of the first bad passes by Tambling, other than that pick 6, that probably could have been thrown in front and it might have gone for a touchdown.
Well, time to raise a roof with Mission Metals. Mission Metals, your trusted hometown metal roofing and metal building supplier, right here on Friday Night Rivals. It's going to make it 3rd and 7 now for Eastside.
Important down here, Jeff. They need this. They need to, try to extend this drive for a little bit longer headed here into the 4th quarter.
Tambling back to pass. Quick slant. That's right off the hands So I'm not sure if the Buchholz student body snuck into the Eastside locker room and put some unsticky stuff on the gloves or what's going on.
Like that's
Maybe they put a bunch of bananas in there.
And Tamlin put it right on the money. Just watch from this angle. You see, bam. It's like you got to catch that ball. Like what do you got to catch it? You know, and this has been what's plagued them tonight. This hasn't been one drop, Jeff, or two or three. This has been like the 6th, 7th drop tonight. You know, ball that's hit them dead in the chest or square in the hands, and it's, you know, just maybe a little difficult. Maybe it's a little tough catching that big arm from Tamlin.
Yeah, we're about to be at the point where you can't even count the number of drop passes on both of your hands. Here's a punt. Williams will get it at the 30. He's got some room to run to the outside. 10, 20, and another flag. 30, 35, 37-yard return. But it looks like it's coming back again.
Just you see what happens when the ball gets in his hand. Now, unfortunately, this is probably coming back for holding, but it's always a threat to take that ball for a big play whenever it's in his hands.
It'll be a block in the back by Buchholz. So that's going to be a pretty significant penalty from the spot of the foul, but that's going to back it up about 25 yards from where Williams returned it.
Yeah, it just nullifies such a big return. But hey, I don't think that takes away from what Buchholz has been doing. They're going to run the football, right? They're going to run the football, and they're going to challenge Eastside to stop them.
Well, Daniels is back out there.
He's back out there.
I linebacker.
I don't get it, Jeff. Like he doesn't look the same, and so I'm not sure. You know, maybe they know better than me. I can't really second guess it, but if he's wanting to go, then he's just wanting to go.
Johnson, the tailback. 2 tight ends again for Whittemore. They'll hand it right to Johnson, who follows the right guard for about 4 yards. We're under a minute to go now here in quarter number 3.
This is still a ball game. This is, still a fight here. We've seen Buchholz pretty much take control of this football game here in the second half, back to the offensive line. And, it's feeling like, and Chris Johnson, of course, obviously a running back, but it's feeling like the tide has almost completely shifted.
Johnson again, and this time a really nice stop.
And time is now working against Eastside, so they're going to have to figure this thing out.
Galen Miller in there on the stop. And that's going to wind things down all the way to quarter number 4. Well, it's been a physical second half here after a mistake-filled first half. But Buchholz announcing their presence with authority, as they once said. 22-13. They lead it over Eastside, and we'll have quarter number 4 when we come back here on Friday Night Rivals.
This is the school bus stop of the game. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
Well, it's time for our stop of the game. Brought to you by the school buses. Always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Not stopping or trying to beat the stop arm puts lives at risk, result in large fines, points on your license, and license suspension.
There you're going to see here, Jeff, obviously a big play for Buchholz on this kickoff. Justin Williams, who we talked about here tonight, not having the best night when it comes to receiving the football, but went down and made a really big play. And then you see number 16, Ray Sanchez, take care of it.
This is the school bus stop of the game. Stop when the school bus arm is out.
Well, yeah, Justin Williams putting lives at risk with that big old hit that he had on there. But I think that just shows you how special of a player he is. You're not always going to have tremendous games offensively, but it's how you impact in other ways. And certainly special teams tonight, he's been a big factor.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because of, you know, a lot of times when you're a great player as he is and you're a commit, and everybody highlights you as the player to watch and to not let them go out, not let you go off on them. And sure enough, he makes his mark in a different way, and that's what you just love to see.
He's in the backfield here. They fake it to him, and then Whittemore is going to complete the pass down the field to Avery Norris. Good throw and catch, and that's going to be enough for a first down there on third down. A GFL first down. Green today, green for life.
Yeah, had some pressure coming from that backside right there, but able to get it off. Nice throw and even better catch. And it was even really well defense right there by number 11, Malachi Williams. And just sometimes the throw and the catch are better than the defense.
Williams in the backfield now. And Whittemore will toss it to him. Trying to get through that left side. Another flag comes down as Williams is dancing around.
Good gosh, that's like 6 minutes. Oh,
finally brought down with a big old hit. But that was a lot of running for a loss of a yard.
Yeah, a lot of running for a loss of a yard and get your head taken off. I mean, but it's the hold end is coming completely back here.
So that'll push him back to the other side of midfield. And make it 1st and 20. Buchholz with a 9-point lead. So up 2 scores at least. So really important that this Eastside defense can get a stop here. They'll give it to Johnson again. Nice hole to sneak through, and he crosses midfield after a gain of 6. Shout out to Bounds Heating and Air. Call Bounds, especially this time of year when it is really, really hot outside. Expected to be nasty tomorrow for that 4 o'clock Gator game.
Yeah, you call it the swamp for a reason. I mean, it's going to be the heat of the day. The sun will be going down eventually, but that ain't going to be until the second half. So you guys make sure you hydrate yourself out there and stay safe.
Whittemore takes a snap, rolling out to his right, looking for a receiver down the field, and that one is going to be almost intercepted. Malachi Williams came in from his cornerback spot and got in the way.
Yeah, we called his name a few times tonight. He's done a great job in coverage, in run support. So a wonderful job by him tonight. Almost had his first pick for this evening.
So 3rd and long now. About 15 yards needed for the Buchholz offense.
And this is what we've seen out of Buchholz's offense tonight. I mean, minus that last drive, which was just, beautiful, masterfully done. They've had some runs, and then they've had a couple passes, and then they've stalled. And that's what we've seen. So we'll see if they can pick up this elusive first down and keep this drive moving.
They'll just hand it off. Good, strong run. That's Caleb Young with some fresh legs in there for Buchholz. Still be about 5 yards short.
And Jeff, I think this puts them in, hey, you got to go for it kind of territory. Maybe they punt this away. Coach Whittemore being smart about it.
Yeah, 2-score lead. Make Eastside go the length of the field, and your defense has done a really good job, especially when Gunta can pin him down. And they'll try to do it again. Kalen Ferguson back deep for the Rams. Gunta gets it and kicks it right at the 50-yard line. And that's going to take another nice bounce inside the 10-yard line. 3 times tonight that Gunta has put it inside the 10-yard line. He's been a weapon.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he's just It seems like he just has a knack for nailing that thing inside the 10-yard line. And his other two landed inside the 5. So nice job by him. He's been able to flip this field and give them really good position on defense.
So Tambling and the Eastside offense will take over. And we come back. They're trail it by 9 with just over 9 minutes to go here on Friday Night Rivals. Alongside Shannon Snell, Jeff Cardozo back with you at Citizens Field. Battle of the bands right now as Eastside just below us getting after it. Buchholz on the other side of the field. Both of these bands, great halftime show. And give each of these schools a lot of credit. So much goes into these high school games, not only the bands, but the cheerleaders and everybody who's working behind the scenes, make all this stuff right. We've got a tremendous crew here with us. Great camera crew. Ben running around, making sure everything's running right.
Yeah, Ben does a great job, doesn't he? He always makes us feel comfortable and makes things very easy for us.
Tambling with a long throw across the field, and fortunately for him, it sailed high because Buchholz had a guy, Cameron Burst, right there to jump on it if it was a good throw.
Yeah, Burst showing Burst, getting under that ball, and you're right, Jeff. If that ball comes down a little bit, that's going to be Tambling's second pick 6 of the night.
Well, Emery and Henry formation here.
Haven't seen this in a while.
Won by Steve Spurrier. That was back before Shannon was playing, and it didn't work. How about Evan Carter? He says, take your formation, and I'm going to do something about it. Got in there in a hurry.
Yeah, that one didn't seem like it was well executed, if you will. And, that's, you got to do something different. And listen, Jeff, it's still a 9-point game. So I don't know if it's, I think you still try to figure out a way to get those receivers in the slot and up the seams and, try to hit your slots for a couple big plays, because right now it felt like kind of just a gimme play for Buchholz to make something big happen. So you got to do a better job if you're Eastside.
That was Walker's second sack of the night. Great job by Evan, who has been really good from that defensive end spot. And Eastside's going to call a timeout, talk it over a little bit more. So they tried a little trickery, and it did not work. All right, you see the band still getting after it. And we'll do that when we come back. We'll step aside for another timeout as Buchholz leads at 22-13 here on Friday Night Rivals. We welcome you back to Friday Night Rivals. And a great job by all the bands, everything else going on. How about what Ernest Graham is doing at Santa Fe? That's where we'll be next week as Palatka comes to downtown beautiful Alachua for Friday Night Rivals. And we got word earlier that Santa Fe was up 50-0 tonight. So EG's got some good stuff going on. It'll be fun to see them.
Think about that, Jeff. I mean, where they were a year ago or 2 years ago, and then all of a sudden you interject some new leadership and a former Gator, very successful former Gator and Buccaneer. For those Buck fans out there, and this is what you get. You get a guy that's really being successful. So I'm rooting for EG. He's taking on a really good Palatka team next week, so we'll see how he does.
And it was just a couple of years ago that Ernest Graham was sitting below us in the stands when Miles was a linebacker and running back for this Buchholz ball club. Now he's running around for the University of Florida. Another ball down the seam, and that one's through the hands of the defender. Troy Fleming had a chance to pick it off and just couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, once again, there's that corner post route that they ran for a big touchdown earlier in the game, and this one was covered a little bit better. Able to see there, and then you see Fleming kind of just sitting over top in that covered two-man shell. And sure enough, almost picked that ball off.
Yeah, a lot of traffic. Good job again by the Buchholz defense as they pin Eastside back there. So Gunta puts him down there and the defense holds him. And it should be good field position here for the Bobcats, taking back over as Justin Williams is set up inside the 40-yard line. Good snap. A wobbly kick that bounces around the 35. Williams comes up and gets it, and then is hit out of bounds immediately. but only about 30 yards to go for Buchholz, and they're already up 2 scores.
Yeah, just a really good territory right there. And good job by the defense of really being special in the second half. Haven't given up really anything to Eastside, which had been pretty successful in the first half with some of the stuff that they've been doing, but really stymied this Eastside offense here in the second half, and been a real big reason why, you know, Buchholz is in the position that they are now.
Bobcats did try to throw it a couple of times the last possession, but another big penalty sent them backwards. So we'll try to see if they stay on script here and just give it to Johnson. They do. And Johnson finding a hole up the middle. Good gain of about 5 there on first down.
Jeff, let's give that offensive line some credit. I mean, they've really taken over in the second half where they made life difficult between those tackles. I mean, all those guys just, you can see the Eastside defenders now holding their hips. Their pants are turned from white to now completely black because they've been on that ground a lot. They've been dealing with these counter runs and these power runs, and just the overall makeup of this offensive line has been really good tonight. And I'm sure Chris Johnson has been thankful for himself.
Caleb Young in the game now at tailback. And Young will get the carry. Nice patient run. Waiting for something to develop. And he'll get about 4, leaving Buchholz a yard short.
And this is kind of you just running the clock down. You're not moving real quick. Don't really need to, right? 2 touchdown lead, a 2-score lead, and you don't have to move very quick. Even if you don't make it here, you think about going for it because it'd be 4th and short. But even if you do make it here, you're basically in a 4-minute run the clock down offense, just trying to take as much time off the clock as humanly possible.
Young in the backfield again, same formation as the previous play. And Young will go the same route that he just did. This plenty of room. And enough for a first down. Another UF Health Ortho Care first down, where walk-ins are welcome 7 days a week. And kudos to the UF Health orthopedic and sports medicine athletic trainers tonight, especially on the Eastside side. They've been busy. They've been getting under that tent, working on a lot of these linebackers, especially for Eastside, and they've been in and out of the games, keeping them healthy.
Yeah, they definitely got their money's worth out of them tonight. Just, really doing a fantastic job, Jeff. It's just, great to have those trainers down there on that sideline to protect these guys and help them get back in the game and play this game that they love.
Young gets the carry again, doing the same thing he just did. They're just running over that right guard, right tackle, and getting 5-yard chunks at a time.
I mean, just digging them out of there over and over and over and over again. And this is demoralizing, right? Jeff, I remember when I was back in high school, we used to have a run-first offense, and everybody knew what we were going to do. It wasn't like going to be a thing. It was our offensive line averaged like 295 pounds. So they knew we were going to run the ball, but it was just demoralizing when you stick like 9 guys in the box and you can't stop it. And this is what's going on right now. All these guys are in the box, and they know what's coming, but they just can't stop it.
And Young gets it again. Guard pulling from that left side, and 5 more yards up the field. And that's close to first down yardage again. Well, I guess it's easy for Travis McGriff, the offensive coordinator. He doesn't even have to come up with anything. Hey, same play.
Yeah, you literally you can run this offense against any team in the state of Florida and be successful. If you have the right combination of offensive linemen, if you've got guys with a nasty, just displeasant mentality, this is what happens. You just open up holes, and your running back is basically back there throwing a party.
3rd and 1. Young gets it. Gets outside this time for finally being brought down. Good tackle there by Tremaine Montague. But enough for another first down, brought to you by GFL. Green today, green for life. Water break here with under 5 minutes to go now. This has been the MO for Buchholz this entire half, just taking control. Kind of like Randy. That's what he does on the sidelines, and time to check in with him once again.
I take control, I take no prisoners, and nobody spits on me on the sidelines. By the way, you can't spit on this fact. Buchholz has controlled things on this field. I know Eastside calls it home turf as well, too. Until Buchholz lost last week to Vero Beach in the last 30.9 seconds. The prior time they lost was against Cardinal Gibbons back in 2021. Can't spit at that either.
Yeah, great stuff there, Randy. Buchholz has certainly dominated over these last 2 years. Ton of Final Four runs before finally running out of gas. But Trace Johnson, their quarterback from last year, has gone out to California. Doug Johnson, of course, the dad of Trace, really good friends with Carson Palmer, who is coaching a high school out there. So they moved him out there and then gave the opportunity for Andrew Whittemore to take over. And Whittemore only a sophomore. You can see that he's going to be very talented. Ashton Norris in the backfield now, and he's got nowhere to go. There's Tremaine Montague again. He came off that edge and made a big play.
Man, he gets there quick, and that's like the third time that we've seen him come off that edge and really get to the back before the back could even have the chance to get to a hole. So, and that's a tough play on a zone read, Jeff. Normally you could chase that down from the backside because it's such a wide play, but when it's hitting straight ahead and he crashes down like that and makes it a TFL, it's a tough play to do, and just nice speed, nice get off there to get him to the ground.
Norris, the sophomore running back, will stay in there. Brooks to the left, Williams to the right for Whittemore. They'll hand it off again. Montague tried to get there that time and couldn't, and it looks like he's down.
Yeah, it looks like he got his leg clipped or something. Yeah, it looks like he might have got. It looks like a cramp, which is good. I mean, he's played his butt off tonight. He's made a lot of plays on that edge, and that defense has been on the field a lot, Jeff, in the second half. I mean, I don't think they've really even come off. So, you got to understand this. At this point in time, this is the wearing out factor when you have an offensive line that just beats you up and wears you down, exerts your muscles. You're not really going over for, except for the water breaks that you're getting for the timeouts, and those things slow you down. But there's Montague right there. Just a hell of a game tonight. He's made quite a bit of plays off that edge from that outside linebacker spot.
Yeah, you commend the hustle. And Daniels was an impact player early before he's finally been taken out of the game. Kamari and Mack made some big plays. Montague on defense.
And this has got to be somewhat, if the score holds or, as we start to wind down, this has got to be somewhat satisfying for Coach Mark Whittemore, right, coming off of a really disappointing defeat last week. Probably should have won that game, but here you go tonight. You're able to rebound and beat a team that was scrappy and took you to the limit.
Yeah, that's why you play 48 minutes. Just a 2-point game at the half, and then Buchholz came up with the mindset, hey, we're just going to run it and pound some people, and that's exactly what they've done. Whittemore in the shotgun again. He'll fake the handoff to Norris this time and just throws it away as he got pressured by Kamari and Mack, who's back out there.
Yeah, still fighting, these guys are. I mean, they're not trying to let Buchholz in this end zone. And, stranger things has happened, but it's only a 9-point game. Right? It's still a 2-score game. Buchholz has done a great job of really just running the clock down and making this kind of one-sided here in the second half, but there's still time. There's still some stuff that could happen that could change the outcome of this game.
So 3rd and goal now. Not sure that Mark Whittemore is happy with the play call. Looks like he's going to call timeout here, and that's exactly what will happen. Looked like some confusion there on the formation and the offense. So you got your timeouts, might as well use them, take advantage, and get it right on this big 4th and goal.
You can't take them home with you. Got to use them. And trying to get the best play in, so get his team here in the end zone. So, and Jeff, this begs the question is that, while this is great for Buchholz, right? It puts them back on track. It puts them back into a spot that they belong. But where do both these teams go from here? right? Because this is a hard-fought game. You got both teams that are exhausted mentally. You know, you start to get into the first quarter of the season, the first third of the season is almost done, and it's kind of the shakeout period, right? Now, neither one of these teams are going to be, if the score holds, neither one of these teams will be undefeated after this game. But, you know, you have to learn from something. You have to learn about what happened in this football game. And the first thing you have to address is those damn penalties. Like, that flag has hit this field, has hit the ground more times tonight than I think either one of these teams would like to remember. So addressing those penalties and being a little bit more sharper, because at any point in time, that those penalties could be, they played a big part for both teams offensively, in my opinion, tonight. But, you know, it could be the difference between, especially on close games, it could be the difference between winning and losing.
So 4th and goal here. Johnson in the backfield as Whittemore's under center. They'll fake it to him. And a wide open receiver, and that's going to be caught. Great play as Andrew DeFuso comes out of nowhere. He got lost in no man's land, came wide open, and Whittemore hits him for the touchdown.
That's a loss in the sauce touchdown play right there. DeFuso lines up on the right side of the formation, sneaks back across on like a drag route. Nobody covers him because as Whittemore's rolling to the right, just kind of finds it, throws it back across his body, and sure enough, he's wide open for a touchdown.
Yeah, great play call, and it works a lot, especially in high school. You lose control. Nice play fake by Whittemore. He sold it, and then nobody covered the tight end who floated across the field. The extra point up and good by Gunta. That'll hit the speakers on top of the scoreboard here, and that scoreboard has a new score as Buchholz now leads it 29-13 with just over 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, that just puts an exclamation point on what they've done here in the second half. You know, it was a game, as you said earlier, it was a game in the first half. It was 15-13. And then all of a sudden, they just turn on the jets and have these two just extra long touchdown drives with that offensive line taking over. And we've seen a lot of, you know, Chris Johnson, and we saw a lot of Caleb Young. So, you know, it's been fun. It's been a fun second half of your Buchholz, and it's gave you something to kind of lay your hat on if you're struggling as they did last week.
So Gunta getting ready to kick it off another time. And I think if you're Eastside, certainly the mistakes and penalties like you mentioned, but I think you also have to feel like, hey, if we don't have a bunch of these drop passes, we had some good plays offensively. You just have to be able to capitalize, and they watch that film. They say, okay, we executed, but we also now have to make sure we execute on the back end.
Yeah, it's important. Probably pass skeleton is going to be big for them this week, right? That relationship. And this is Tamling's third game with these receivers, right? He came over from GHS last year. They had a different quarterback. So this is his third game. So you can't expect everything to be worked out. You have to understand that. So, but I do think Pascal's in the 7-on-7 period against the defense, that kind of stuff where he's able to get into, you know, they're able to understand his ball, the ball trajectory from him, how hard it's coming at him. Sometimes you don't get all that in preseason training camp.
So Gunta set to kick off. Puts his right leg into it. Another good kick by the senior, and that is just shy of the goal line. It's returnable. But a good job by the Buchholz special teams. Jamarian Garcia, junior defensive back, in there on the tackle.
So I guess if you're Buchholz, if you're Eastside right now, you're just airing this thing out. You're still down 2 scores. So maybe turning on a 2-minute offense and hoping for a big pass play, some sort of a touch, something that gets you into the end zone, and then going for that onside, that elusive onside kick.
There you see Mark Whittemore. And you could see he still had some confidence when Randy talked to him at halftime. Certainly not happy with all the penalties and the mistakes. But they just got back to old-fashioned football here in the second half.
I think he knew, Jeff. He knew, like, if, hey, listen, my team plays better than what they did in the first half, then, you know, we're in a good spot. But, you know, sometimes it's the perfect storm to where things happen and there's another team and it's not played on paper. So, you know, but good, congrats to him, as we've seen for years, him putting together a good game plan to get these guys rolling.
Tamling not ready for the snap. And he's got to scramble out of there and just get rid of it. That was certainly scary, and he's banged up on the back end of it as well, as, again, Evan Walker was all over that backfield. Some confusion there offensively. Cleaner pocket that time, but it's dropped and picked up. Big hit, and then ball's on the ground again.
Wow.
A lot happening here.
Yeah, a lot going on that play. You see, able to get around that right edge right there. It was a fumble. And then all of a sudden somebody else picks it up, and then they fumble, but they call that one down.
And Brockington, who was in the backfield, able to recognize it after Tambling dropped it and ends up getting enough for a first down. So Tambling quickly shoots it out to the left side and some room to run. And look who that is. Kamarian Mack on offense now.
I mean, is there anything he did? And we saw Kamarian Mack, and he had went down, and we didn't think he was going to come back in the game. And you still see there's a little bit of limp with him right there, but still fighting through this thing.
Cameron Phillips, the center, is down here.
Looks like he's in a lot of pain down there, too. Hopefully it's not a knee.
Yeah, you certainly don't like to see that here at the tail end of a game.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, the game's pretty much well in hand at this point. A minute 56 seconds left, and then all of a sudden, you know, somebody catches a blow to the knee, body's flying everywhere, and that's, you know, that's the last thing you want to see from a young man not being able to finish a contest because of that.
Well, Phillips up. He's already got a brace on that right knee, and that where it looks like he's struggling here.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. A couple of coaches carry off the big fella. So, UF Health Orthopedic and Sports Medicine athletic trainer back to work. And you hope that things are okay there for Cameron Phillips. Cam Fairweather, junior offensive lineman, came into the game to replace him. There's a ball down the seam again, and that one's caught.
There it is.
Again by Cofield, and for the second time tonight, he finds the end zone.
I mean, the game's not over, Jeff. I mean, Cofield, he's got some speed on him. I mean, once he gets that ball in his hands, he takes that thing to the house. I mean, that's the second time that he's had a post route down the field and is able to get that, and second really big touchdown for him.
It's a Radiant Credit Union touchdown, and you see when the quarterback Tambling has time to throw that he can put it right there, and you get into the hands of the speedster. Cofield caught it, and nobody could catch him all the way to the end zone.
Big 2-point conversion here.
This could make it a one-score game and get Eastside within 8. They'll go with a fade, but nobody's there. Receiver broke in as McKinnon was not on the same page with his quarterback, and the 2-point try is failed.
Man.
But Eastside answers. Shannon, they come right back down the field, did what they needed to do. That would have certainly been a huge 2-point conversion, but now we're certainly going to see an onside kick.
Yeah, we have to. I mean, this is the most important part, and you know, this is the part that 2-point conversion would have made things really interesting. But now it's a 2-score game. But just once again, Cofield able to go up and high point that ball and pull it down and take off. And once he's in the open field, as we saw earlier, ain't nobody catching him.
So the hands team comes in for the Bobcats. Elijah Dressel, place kicker, will tee it up. That's either Dressel's parents right below us wearing the Dressel jerseys, or it's big fans NIL deal for the Eastside kicker.
I'm guessing it's the former. It's probably fair. So.
Tambling's done everything else tonight. I'm surprised Tambling isn't out there on the hands team. 6'5", 250-pounder.
I mean, you're
Go
right.
up and out jump somebody.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot tonight, so why not put him on the hands team?
So Dressel ready. And he'll pooch it right to a Buchholz player, and that is DeFusco. And he's like, dude, I just caught a touchdown. I can certainly catch this one.
Yeah, he would have been the last guy was kicking it too.
So the Bobcats will take over their own 45-yard line, and now all they have to do is run out the clock under 2 minutes to go. And a 10-point lead.
And you got to give credit to Eastside for fighting hard. I mean, if this score holds up, fighting hard, but it's too much from Buchholz. I mean, just them in the second half has been really good. The game plan, the halftime adjustments have been fantastic by Coach Whittemore and his staff. So credit's due all around to both of these teams.
Johnson, the senior running back out there again. And they'll give it to him. Through that right side, he's got 5, 6, and now another. So a 7-yard gain and another big hole opened up by that Buchholz offensive line as Eastside will call a timeout.
Yeah, got a couple of them left here, but, you know, this offensive line keeps opening up these holes, and we keep seeing Chris Johnson hitting them. This game's going to be over with here before you know it.
Yeah, one more first down will end it as Eastside only has one timeout to go. Alongside Shannon Snell, Jeff Cardozo here with you. Appreciate you tuning in here for Friday Night Rivals. Another good one next week as Palatka will come into the area and take on Santa Fe. Ernest Graham has really turned around that program. This is a program that a couple of years ago wasn't even close to winning a game.
Yeah, they weren't competitive. They had a lot of issues on, with players and other stuff. But, once again, it takes, one guy. It takes a village and everybody to believe and go and be on that same page to be able to right the wrongs. And sure enough, that's what happened. 50 to nothing tonight. Just unbelievable the turnaround that Ernest is making at that school.
Johnson gets it again, gets boggled up, and then breaks away to the outside. He's got 25 yards down the field before finally being brought down by Javen Comer, the free safety. So that will be enough.
Yeah, and Chris Johnson's been just really good tonight. Just it's been fun to watch him. He's been able to break off these big runs between the tackles, but his ball vision, his vision in the hole has been really good, bouncing off there and able to bounce it off left. And just sometimes you can't teach that kind of talent. You can't teach that kind of skill. So nice job to him and really making this team better tonight and helping them pick up this win.
Now the best play in football. If you're on the offensive side of the ball, Buchholz will just kneel it down as Whittemore will take the snap, drop that right knee to the ground, and they'll have to do it one more time to finish this thing off tonight. So Johnson really was the workhorse. We never saw Justin Williams do much, but he didn't really need to in the second half. The game plan was just to use that big, strong offensive line and push the Rams around. Well, that's exactly what they need to do, and there'll be plenty of games where number 13 will be involved.
Oh, sure will. Yeah, this is just not a night he was necessarily needed for Buchholz to pull out the win, but this shows their weapons and what they have. And That's exactly why they pull off the win here tonight.
So a 10-point victory for the Bobcats here tonight. Both of these teams call this their home field, but it was the home team. Buchholz winning 29-19, and it's time to look at our IBEW Local 1205 Player of the Game. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 1205, powering a bright future. And Shannon, to no surprise, it's Chris Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson just fantastic tonight, and able to get behind that big offensive line, who honorable mention right there, and just trucking along and making these big runs, and really was the catalyst for what happened here with Buchholz tonight and how they were so successful in offense. So congratulations to Chris Johnson, and very nice game by that young man, what he did tonight.
Yeah, he ate up about 80 yards of offense on that first drive in the second half for Buchholz, and they never looked back, and the big run there to seal the deal and get another first down. So we'll take a final break. We'll come back, give away some hardware, and talk to the winning coaches and players as Buchholz wins it by 10 tonight here on Friday Night Rivals. Welcome back to Citizens Field as we wrap things up tonight. The far side, the home team tonight, Buchholz, their fans leaving happy on what was a gorgeous night in Gainesville, under 70 degrees now here with a little light wind, almost a full moon, and it was a full effort by everyone tonight, including this guy, Randy, who's down on the field with the winning head coach.
Coach, unofficially, I have this as win number 90 for you. A 7-minute and 9-second drive to start the second half. Talk about your team's performance in quarters 3 and 4.
Well, obviously it was a nail-biter in the first half. All kinds of mistakes, a lot of penalties, but we came out of the locker room ready to go. And, yeah, a 7.5-minute drive, that'll cure what ails you.
We talked about special teams before, but you are on a record pace with the special teams that you have. Also, the third toughest schedule in the state of Florida, correct?
That's right. Clap it up. Yeah, we Eastside is obviously part of that schedule. At 2-0, ranked 9 in 3A. That was a quality opponent, and we feel pretty good about the win.
Chris Johnson, you take a knee to no and get up here. We should go ahead and get a knee for you. Come on up, Chris. Chris, there you are. Chris, talk about this game. What was your mindset in the second half? You ran like a bull in a china shop.
Yes, sir. My mindset going into the second half was we needed energy. Coming out of that second quarter, we were dead. I really pushed my guys to really lock in and bring everything they have.
And you did a tremendous job. Where does this put this team after 3 games?
After 3 games, we still have some work to do, but I feel like we're on the right track.
Before we make the trophy presentation, Kewan Ratliff, get over here.
There we go.
All-American. All-American. And get this, 28 years ago in Whitehall, Ohio, who called your football games?
I think it was you.
It was me 28 years ago, and we reunite here tonight. Congratulations. It's great to be part of this program.
It is an amazing feeling to be a part of this program. I watched them from afar over the years, and to see the success they have, to now be a part of it is something that I can't really describe.
Ironically, you played for the Whitehall Rams, and tonight you beat the Rams. And, Coach, with all that being said, on behalf of the IBEW 1205 and Friday Night Rivals, you are the champs!
And certainly Mark Whittemore very happy to have pulled that off. Chris Johnson, a great game, and I think it just shows you that Buchholz, Shannon, can win in so many different ways. They're a dangerous team.
Yeah, they're scary, Jeff. I mean, special teams was a big catalyst tonight, and the run game, so fantastic. But, you know, this team has a lot left on the table, and I can't wait to see what they do to open that offense up.
Well, I got a former Gator football player besides me, and you just saw Randy talk about Kewan Ratliff down there on the field. And then next week we'll also see a former Gator as Ernest Graham, who is now the head coach at Santa Fe High School. He'll have Palatka High School visit him, and it was certainly a fun night tonight as both teams came out excited. It was a great first half, but when it was all said and done, Buchholz pulls it off thanks to a couple of special teams mistakes like that, a defensive score, and then taking things over in the second half. A lot of great sponsors tonight. We especially like to thank our participating schools and their administrators for their support. Eastside High School and, of course, our hosts, Buchholz High School. For Shannon Snell and the rest of our great Friday Night Rivals team, Randy Reinhardt down on the sidelines, Dustin producing and directing, back in network control. I am Jeff Cardozo. Have an awesome weekend, everybody, and thanks for watching.
Thank you to our valued sponsor partners who make this telecast of Friday Night Rivals possible. IBEW Local Union 1205, Radiant Credit Union, and Parks Motor Group. Also, thank you to our great sponsor supporters for their contributions. Pavlov Media, GFL Environmental, UF Health OrthoCare, Sonny's Barbecue, Bounds Heating and Air, Skyfrog Tree Service, Mission Metals Manufacturing, Call a Mattress Superstore, and Tucker Chiropractic. And a special thanks to tonight's participating high schools for their continued support.